Hey, do I keep randomly
we are
disconnecting and
live.
reconnecting?
Hey, everybody.
Yes, you do.
Hello.
Welcome to the
Hey!
stream.
Hello.
This is
Hi.
episode 15 of the Sleepless Nights Campaign 1. We're going to be playing some D&D today. If you're new to the stream, welcome. Glad to have you. I don't believe we have any new followers this week. Is that correct, Mac?
That is correct. No new followers this week.
All right.
Hopefully, we will next week.
Yeah, unfortunately. But hey, if you want to follow, we'll appreciate it. Other than that, I think there might be some podcast news. If one of you two that has been handling it would like to break the news, I don't know.
Yeah, you wanna start it off, Joe?
Less involved.
I'll go ahead and it's a little less involved than what we have to do, but we are taking our episodes that have been wonderfully streamed to you and placed into a podcast format. And Mac has taken some time to create a theme song that I think kind of an intro outro tune that I've been kind of attached to those podcasts. So it's we're getting it set up. I know for a fact it is on Apple Podcasts and Anchor. That's, however, keep an eye open for Amazon Music, Stitcher, Google Music. I'm trying to get them set up there, but I'm having some pushback. Spotify is being a bit of a. This one was like.
We're working on it.
It.
If you have an Apple product, we are there, and of course, we're on YouTube and stuff as always. So it's another way to listen to the show and engage with what's going on.
Please, yes,
Yeah.
spread the love. We love the love.
Throw it on in your car, at work, wherever you happen to be. Just don't get too distracted and get in a car accident. Anyway, I think that's everything. Unless anyone has anything else they want to share real quick. All right, we're ready to go. Let's roll some dice.
Let's do it.
Hello, everybody.
Oh,
How we doing?
Not too bad.
ready to burn Hardcastle to the ground.
Slightly aggravated,
Ready
but
to go
that
to
does
Soft
have to be the
Castle.
game.
Can we not? Can we not?
I really don't like the oscillating lights in the background term with like the red light coming every now and then.
It's
Cool!
It makes you look like the devil.
Welcome to hell.
Just leave it red.
It's just red and green. Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm bad. I'm good.
All right. Welcome, everybody. I hope you're all ready to play some D&D. But first, a little bit of a recap. So we continued our adventure as you guys found yourselves outside of the cave of the monster that you tracked down outside of Torch, alongside Torrent, who was looking for her missing brother. Tempest looking for her missing brother, Torrent. You fought this beast, which was kind of a mishmash of all these different type of creatures, a large bull body and a head of a bear, or something like that. I can't remember without actually looking what exactly the mishmash was. But there was a bunch of different creature parts that you guys decided to fight. After defeating it, it exploded into a large explosion of blue flame that kind of caused all of you quite some harm. But we came back as you all decided what to do next. A few of you then decided to head back to the town of Torch, while Calder and Cassis decided to stay back and wait for Eggval to recover from whatever he was dealing with. A few brave conversations with him led to you guys learning a little bit about Eggval's past. But eventually you were able to egg him on and thank you. Bring him back to town after a little bit of a discussion, while the rest of you finally arrive back in Torch, only to find the town, which was previously destroyed by this creature. Well, not destroyed, but wrecked by this creature. In a little bit of a state of rabble outside of the longhouse where you had found the appointed leader of Torch. What were you guys liking to call him? Elliot Hookhand or what? Hookhand?
Old
Hookhand Elliot. Trying to deal with the rabble and the riot that was outside, which you began to hear rumors of and screams of an explanation wanted by the people of Torsh about what the hell is actually going on here, and why the hell has the Fisher's farm fallen into a massive gaping hole that has just appeared in the earth. In a panic state, this Elliot character pulls you all inside, while Regic was carrying a dead sheep carcass in his on his shoulder.
Two of them.
Two of them. He quickly explained that this family's farm has apparently fallen into a large hole that has appeared overnight, reportedly being 1,000 foot wide. Not many people have gone to see what exactly it was about, which he made the excuse that you guys were there to do exactly that, was to investigate the hole. With a little bit of finagling, you agreed to get rid of the sheep carcasses that were laying inside of his the longhouse for a little bit of gold. The first thing you guys decided to do, as you all met up at Torch again, was to go say your goodbyes. Well, check in with Tempest and her brother, returning his things to him as he laid into the back of a cart, still wounded by this creature that you had got rid of in the forest of Chondawood. She thanked you, gave you a little bit of a report about what had happened while you guys were away, reporting that it sounded like there was an initial rumble beneath the people that were waiting outside the town of Torch at the checkpoint by the Emerald Enclave, followed by the sounds of the earth kind of collapsing in on itself. She pretty much told you that she did not have much time to help you investigate, paid you for aiding her finding her brother with a sack of gold that was captured off of the man who was trying to run away when you first arrived here, the guy that was trying to smuggle weapons into Torch. Not really knowing how much she was giving you, but she's kind of handed you his satchel, pretty much off the books, which you later found out was a good sum of money, surprising for a simple, smuggler coming through Torch. Some interesting conversations were had afterward, as you decided to take a rest. We learned a little bit about a few years past, what exactly was going on. There's some touching moments between some of you guys, discussing Calder's wings and Ren and Eggval's family issues, without going into too much detail, for the sake of brevity. There were some deep conversations that were had over that fire. I might be getting things out of order, but eventually you guys went and investigated the massive hole, which was quite large, using Velkin and her friend to kind of give you sight from a bird's eye view. This thing definitely was about 1,000 feet in width and length. It was very large. You couldn't see much during the night, but you did see it almost looked like a large, oval, balloon, as the hole kind of got smaller and looked like the earth began to crack towards where you guys stood, and it kind of opened up. Getting closer, you guys tried to investigate with a little bit of light, dropping a rock with a light spell on it, but the light actually disappeared, kind of going out of your vision. During the night, you heard some rumblings and the falling of more earth, as the activity of the collapse was still happening, as you all were kind of sitting for the night, which kind of gave you a clue that this hole is a lot deeper than you thought it was, as you kind of timed the dropping of the earth itself. It probably took close to a minute till you heard the impact, a light sound of an impact. Eventually, daylight came, which gave you a better idea of what the hole, or what the inside of this hole looked like. As you saw on one side of the hole, the earth kind of collapsed into this large slope, which you can see the mound of dirt, debris, and rubble and dirt kind of made a slope, which was about 120 feet or so down into the hole. The other the other side of the hole was just pretty much like a complete drop off, which you really couldn't see a way to descend. A discussion was had between all of you whether or not it was worth traversing down into the hole. Some of you said for what, and exactly what would we be doing this for. not really knowing or wanting to deal with whatever may be down there, knowing that you had more pressing issues as you were on the chase of a group of individuals trying to open up the Black Stargate. So the decision was made that you were not going to traverse down into this crevasse that was recently made here outside the town of Torch. You gathered your things and began your way to Hardcastle, as you now leave the town of Torch behind you. And as you were on your way that next day, Calder revealed that there was some discussions whether or not you guys were going to completely avoid this city and head right to the Great Rift itself. But Calder insisting that you all stop there, revealing that he had some family that he would like to check in on that he hasn't seen in a long time. You all eventually agreed. So, though some of you more reluctantly than others, we now find ourselves... Redrick, exactly. We now find ourselves on the road to Hardcastle. It is a brighter day. The coolness that you guys have been kind of dealing with as you woke up in these later summer, early fall kind of months. It's one of those warmer fall days, as there's not much cloud cover and the sun is kind of high above you. You all are traveling at a slower to medium pace, as fast as you can with a large metallic ape in the back of a cart. But would you guys like to do anything on the road here? It is about a 15-mile ride outside Torch to Hardcastle. So you could probably make it there. Yeah, you're not too far. So where you guys had been, I kind of jumped forward just a little bit. You haven't. I'm not saying you're right outside of Torch, but you're about 10 to 15 miles out of the city. So
someone had mentioned possible makeup, paint, hide our skin color for Vilken and I.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Or I can give it a shot at least.
Sorry. You cut out there the last thing you said.
Oh, sorry. I just said I can do that, or I can give it a shot at least.
I don't think he can hear.
I fixed it. Go again.
That's right.
And
I can give it a good old college try.
my bad. What was that now, Ren?
Oh my God.
My ears are a little bit clogged.
Had some goddamn
Dude.
dust in my ears from this fucking trail here. Sorry,
Sure
what was
thing,
that?
Grandpa. Yeah, no, I'd be happy to do your makeup.
Well, thank you. No,
Yeah, I can give it a shot. Yeah.
Do we have to, or is this like it might be bad, or we know it'll be bad?
Well, if Hardcastle is as I remember, you don't want to go in there looking the way we do. Better safe than sorry. I mean, by all means, if you really want to go for it, do. But,
Will I be okay? Should I be worried? Because I know
no more than
Albador
normal.
was weird.
Yeah,
So
weird.
Weird.
Maybe a bit.
Okay.
Calder,
They-
you do know that unlike a lot of the other places around here, Hardcastle is kind of off the beaten path enough that it does house a number of different races, including dwarves, gnomes, some giant kin, like
Okay.
Eggvall himself. But
I think he'll be all right, eh?
it's probably a good, like, I would say the disparity is probably 70-30, 70 being human and the rest kind of being a mismatch of these other races.
It's more drow in particular.
And
They've
then
harassed the area for a long time. There's a lot of hate there.
and no offense, but maybe you. I don't really think anybody would know what you would be.
From experience, the gray skin was enough. My parents got a lot of shit growing up, as did I. But people said they fraternized, and that's how I came to be.
Well, lucky you.
Well, no,
In
that's
one way,
not
I
actually
mean, if
what
it
happened.
wasn't,
Sure.
if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't be here, or we wouldn't. So I think of it more of a plus, though there are negatives with baggage.
Well, I just mean they didn't actually fraternize. I'm not part drow or anything. It's just because I got the gray skin, people thought
I
it's not a
know.
big deal. Hey, oh, okay.
I know. You don't have
Oh.
the ears.
Right. Right.
Yes, that's the clearly defining difference. The ears.
Nothing to do
I
with the
mean,
hair.
drows are elves, right? How much longer do we have to go? Should I make some
Indeed.
food? What are we doing?
Indeed.
All right. Before we go on any further, what's the plan here? How long are we stopping in town? We're just doing a quick stop, moving on.
I think that
checking in
depends on
Calder's family.
Calder. We have to take Calder's lead here.
Well, I think we stock up, right? That's half the reason for going through town. It's our last stop on the way to where we're going, so we want to make sure we got the supplies we need. Maybe while some of y'all are doing that, I'll mosey my way about, ask a few questions, just make sure things are kind of okay, make sure my parents are all right, and provided that is all the case, then we'll head on through.
Staying the night though, right?
Yeah,
I think
so
we decided we were gonna
whenever
stay
you
here
guys
tonight.
would get there, it'd probably be in the later part of the evening. You guys can travel about 24 miles in like an 8-hour day or so at your pace that you're going. So you probably would get there when sundown, right?
Probably be for the best, unless we want to be heading out in the middle of the night, but
It'd be nice to sleep in a bed.
sure.
Well, and that way we get to stay at a inn or something, which hopefully is where the people we're chasing stayed.
Sure, yeah.
Get an update.
DM, there's a few
Yeah.
inns in town that I know of, probably, right? Or at least that I
There's
remember.
definitely the one that you remember.
Well, yes.
You haven't
Maybe
been
we
there
could
in a long time.
maybe we could head to a couple different inns and ask if anyone's seen our robed friends.
Fair enough.
Probably a good idea.
Oh, actually, speaking of seeing, Velkin, here. And Isaiah will hand you a pair of dark black glass lenses in silver frames with like little bits of whited out leather around the sides and up over the nose so that they're completely dark except for the frames. I figured these might help you on occasion since the sun's bothering you.
She takes them and kind of looks them over and says, "Not my usual style, but thank you." And she'll pop them on.
We could fit. Sure. But all right. So if we fix the two of you up with paint, that's not going to last forever. So get there at night. That's good. Keep things
Right.
dark.
Right.
Maybe it just feels like we're gonna step in there and something's gonna be going crazy somewhere. That's usually what we've been seeing.
That has been our
Yeah.
track record.
Wait, so if you're using paint, what if it rains?
Well,
But what
then
if it's
we're in
really
some trouble.
hot?
Then we might also be in some trouble. One thing at a time. Speaking of, with the skin, my hair is also pretty fucking wild for humans. Ren, you
I
got
could
tools
put
for
mud
that
in it.
too? Well,
Yeah.
I prefer a cleaner
Have a-
method.
How about something a little more
Like some
less
dye.
I mean, we could just take it all off
Yeah.
if you want.
Well,
Or-
I don't want
It's
that.
an option.
That is one
We don't have to
solution.
do that. I can fix your hair too. That's
Thank
fine.
you, Ren,
If-
for being the sane voice here. God damn.
if all else fails, you can wear my duster as a hood. You can just pull it up.
Well, I've got a
Um,
You just pull up your cloak.
How long will we
There's also the beard.
be
It's a
in
whole
town?
thing.
Just
like-
the night, I think.
Everything
Well, it
goes
depends
right
if there's trouble.
overnight.
But
About
my question is visible. You know, like, are we just gonna go into the inn, lock ourselves in a room and we'll be fine for the night, or are we going to be doing a lot of wandering?
It's hard to know. Depends
Because
on
I
what
have
you
a
find,
spell,
right?
but it only lasts an hour. That's why I'm wondering. I don't
Why
really
don't we
want
do
to be covered in makeup.
if you're comfortable with that? Why don't we do the makeup as well as a fallback in case we are out and about too long for the spell?
That's true.
Would you be amenable to that?
Yeah, she fixes her gaze at Ren and says, "You good with makeup, or am I going to look horrible?"
I think that's always subjective.
That's not reassuring, but
No, it's not.
all right.
Calder kind of resituates in his saddle.
All right, who wants to go first?
Oh, god damn it. All right.
Okay, so how exactly you're going to try to disguise Calder?
Yeah.
So I have a disguise kit, so I will attempt to take some makeup from it, essentially, and just give him probably similar coloring to Ren. He's redheaded. We'll make him pasty.
Okay.
Kind of make him look
Okay.
like Mac.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll me a deception check, but you can add your proficiency.
What color are you gonna do with the hair?
Said red.
What color do you want? Yeah, I mean, you can make it red.
Well, I mean, that might work. It's red now, but it's kind of this shiny, real deep metallic.
Natural 20.
Ooh,
You said that was
wow.
deception?
Yeah.
So
deception.
that's that is 27 total.
Wow. Okay. So you see Ren pull out all these different shades of like pale skin tone, whites, and a little bit darker. And as she goes, she kind of lays out a rag and begins to mix the colors together, and uses it. And she begins to wipe the skin paint on you. And before your eyes, Calder begins to turn from his normal gray. It takes a few coats to get that darkness to kind of disappear. But eventually, he looks kind of odd. There's still like that oddity, like he's not quite right. But you think you did pretty well. That you would probably no one would really be able to discern him from unless they were really trying to investigate himself. So
I'll tell you what. Let's just make it real different. Let's go black with the hair. You got that?
Yeah, I think I've got some black. Well,
dye his hair
say
black.
goodbye. Yeah, say goodbye to the red.
Too bad. What
Sure,
she
it'll
didn't
wash
tell
out
you
in
is
the
that
river
doesn't
later.
come out, man. Permanently black hair.
Black forever.
Came out of hers once.
Ooh.
You don't know that.
Gotta get back to the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Evil Entity from the other side. I really would like my natural hair color back. Can you do anything?
That's your warlock pact.
Yeah. Just to change your hair color.
Yep.
Like the shallowest warlock. I love it.
So he doesn't. So it's very hard to get skin tone right, and even with a natural 20, he kind of turns out to looking more or less along the lines of eggs kind of skin tone, that like earthy, pale, white. It's not exactly to perfect a human or an elven skin tone would be very, very impressive, even with the natural 20. But he kind of turns out to that earthy tone because of that dark skin undertone that he began with. But it
You
looks
look like the
definitely professional.
Well, you don't look like a drow anyway.
Well, good. It's the goal, right?
Yeah.
you look like the younger brother I never had. I could put some like waves or streaks on you to kind of help with that.
No, it's all right.
Okay.
Probably a good thing we're gonna be there.
But if people ask questions, don't say I didn't warn you.
About Sure, we'll go with the brother act if people ask. I'll just say you're
The
a little
Markings
slow.
come with
maybe?
age.
That's why the language barrier thing. I don't know.
We moved.
Half
I
brothers.
grew up in tribe and you grew up in town. That's how it
Good
works.
idea. Good idea.
See, we're
We'll
good.
go with
We
that.
got it.
Brother from another mother.
That works
He didn't get
too.
his
Very good.
tattoos yet.
My dad got around a bit. Now I'm just...
Thank you, disembodied voice, wherever you are.
Mhm.
Well,
Lightning
Alright.
strikes
better get
somewhere in
going
the
on
distance.
Velkin then, huh?
Yep, your turn. Okay.
Don't mess up.
Go for it.
Okie dokie. Just so you know, I don't like being told what to do.
Don't mess up. No pressure.
All right. Harley's is a +7. That's a 23.
23. That's really good too. So
Yeah.
how are you going to disguise Falcon? Any differently?
I'll just Velkin. How do you want to look?
She'd probably, because like you're working with like a white cut base tone, it's probably just needs to be warmed up a bit.
Yeah.
That's
Add
like
some-
yeah, just add like
Yeah.
some blush, like just
Give her a
make
bit
her
of a
look
tan.
warmer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe some freckles. Make it look natural.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Try to make her look like she could be my sister.
perfect. And it does look really, really well done. After Ren is finished with the majority of this, it's quite impressive, especially just how she does those fine little details with the blush mixed in with the freckles. She seems to even get to like the places where even in the shade it looks natural, like if behind the ears and under the arms and things that would maybe give someone away. Seems like she hit all the spots. You guys feel relatively comfortable that this would work for a time.
So we got a
So-
pair of brothers and a pair of sisters. Maybe?
Yeah. I mean, if
We
anybody
came
asks.
in from a convention over in Torsh. Sibling convention.
True.
The sibling convention.
Well,
Does that make us triplets? The other three?
Doesn't matter how bad the lie is, as long as you can sell it.
Nothing
Um,
alike.
No.
Well,
what
the makeup's
exactly are they going to do about the whole scales bit?
The half thing going on here.
Yeah. He's
another
kinda
mother,
fucked.
that's what they're going for.
No, I mean there's a pretty good handful of other folk about. I mean, he's certainly, unique. But he might be able to get by. It's really the drow that are a problem in Hardcastle.
Oh, right.
They give me shit, I'll give it right back. Don't worry. Wouldn't be the first time.
I have no doubt.
Speaking of, that makeup's not going to last forever, so let's get a move on.
Okay. You rush off. Well, one moment. Okay. So, you continue to ride on for a number of hours. With ambition in your hearts. Hopefully, you're trying to get here as quick as possible. Wrong one. Not too sure what you're going to find in the city of Hardcastle. But you ride for a few hours. And as the sun is kind of descending, you can see in the distance the signs of a large walled city. Not quite as large as many of you come from, but it is quite sizable. You see the fortifications are many. As you can see in the distance, the ramparts of a large stone wall that kind of wrap in this large oval-like direction. You can see the signs of watchtowers that sprout up from within the city proper and around the wall. You can see at a distance a large gate seems to be pushed open. You can see lantern lights flickering from a distance. As inside, you can see the city of Hardcastle kind of goes up at a small slope. You can see the buildings kind of sitting on top of one another, kind of sporadically throughout this large kind of oval-like hill that begins to rise. From a distance, you could probably think that this place would house a few thousand, probably around 4,000, with about 1,000 standing structures. Those of you that would be interested in counting. It is about a medium-sized city, as you would remember it, Calder. You know that it is robust. I mean, the majority of the buildings when you were there were well built, sturdy. They may need some refinement, but Hardcastle bears a strength in a sense of reliability, as you remember.
Ready?
One last detail. From above all of the rest of the city, you see one large, I don't want to call it a castle, but it is almost as if a large fortification stands at the very top of the hill, with one large rounded tower that sits above everything else. You can see lights from the inside of these windows as we run down the side of the tower glowing. At the top of the palisade, you see some torches kind of line the top of it. And as the tower comes down, you can see that it connects to a large building that sits much larger than the rest of the buildings that you see kind of sitting at its base. You remember, this is the keep of the Hardcastle family. You know that the Hardcastles have been this place has been in the family name for generations. Some say they even come from an ancient bloodline of men that once ruled this land long, long time ago.
Does this all look like as I remember it?
It seems to be a little bit more populated, more refined. It's hard to tell as you're looking in the sunset, the sun kind of in your eyes. So really, you're only seeing like the shadowed versions of these buildings in front of you. But it seems to be more sprawling than you remember.
Gotten a little bigger in the last 12 years.
And as you are getting closer and closer to the city itself, visitors are passing you in droves, in and out. Some have carts and some are riding on horseback, some are walking with all sorts of life. You see many dwarves with kind of workloads on their back. Many people entering the city than they are exiting. It seems like people are coming back from a hard day's work. There are definitely farms and logging camps kind of surrounding and pocking the outskirts as you're riding along the old road here. You remember that the people here were generally welcoming. For the most part.
Yeah. If you weren't me.
The people here were relatively well off. I mean, the general, population wealth was... People could live comfortably here. All sorts of different labors that they were able to do. But they did have to work. The Hardcastle family is strict in that everyone is kind of doing their own.
So, is half the town on fire with blue flames when we get there?
You do not see anything from this distance.
Okay, cool. Sunken into a
So
hole
far,
around
so
there.
good. Who's going to be on Team Restock and who wants to be with me?
I'll hang with you.
Suppose I could,
I'll hang with you as well.
unless we wanted to do it all together.
Could brother be with brother? Or
We don't have to be. I mean, you're welcome to come with if you like.
I mean, I don't mind getting food. Doesn't matter with me.
That's actually a good point. Maybe you better go on Team Restock because you know it tastes good.
Maybe I'll go with you guys just in case either of you needs a touch up.
All right,
Team
cast a
Restock.
spell can Ren.
Oh boy.
Isaiah,
Guys-
where are you going?
Who was that to? Sorry.
You?
Isaiah?
Me? I think I'll go with the stock up crew. Ren, do you want to do the thing before you leave so we can make sure?
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. And I will make a connection with you and with... should I have somebody else on this team or somebody else on the other team?
There's maybe good to have one with us.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
in case.
Alright.
Before you make that connection, I guess I should say, what if I just go poke around the city, see if anything's going on? You guys can restock. I'll just canvas, ask questions, get in touch with any criminal underbelly they might have.
Before you leave, that if you're going to do that, Redrick, before you leave, I pull out the mug.
Oh, yes.
Where's my inventory? Yes, the Badmouth's mug, and hand it to you. I whisper loose lips, and it fills up with a liquid. And so go ahead and take a drink.
I'll just like go. All right, chug it.
All right.
What was that
so
exactly?
now, I don't know what did it taste like.
Oh, interesting. What does it taste like? Information.
It's like,
It's a beer, ale, or mead of your choice.
Oh, probably something really strong. If I had to pick, maybe like a nice like dwarven ale or something strong along those lines. I don't know exactly what they'd have around here, but
All right. Well, now you have advantage on charisma performance checks and charisma checks to gather news, rumors, and gossip for the next 12 hours.
all right. Sweet.
See what you can dig up.
Yeah, let's see.
Okay, so you guys are all kind of approaching the city at this point. As you get about 100 feet or so outside of the city gate, you can see that this place is, the Hardcastle proper is surrounded by what looks like a substantial wall of stone. The wall in particular, you can see is being patrolled by guards on a raised walkway that kind of patrol back and forth, kind of crossing with each other. As you guys look up, you can see there are multiple sets of guards that are patrolling the walkway. You can see visitors are passing through the main gate, which is sort of partially opened at this point. It's kind of like about halfway closed. People are still filing in and out. You do see, as you get closer, these sporadic watchtowers that stand at certain points as the city kind of goes up on this hill that kind of sit throughout the city. But a horse snorts in your ear, Redrick, as a merchant in front of you begins to tug on their reins of the horse that they're carrying. Come on! There's a lot of commotion. As
Watch your horse. Just kind of call
just
that.
kind of ignores you. And he begins to approach the town gate. And as you get closer, you can see the guards lazily approach this gentleman and begin to probe him about information about his cargo. And in the broad tones, they begin to go through his things as he kind of regretfully agrees. You can see that he's carrying all sorts of different wares. But he gets... It seems like they're kind of bored, these guards. They probably have been do this 1,000 times a day. Those big, broad questions: where are you coming from? What are you hauling? Can we search your wares? Essentially, the questions that are being asked ahead of you. But eventually, once satisfied, they seem to wave the merchant on, and he whips the reins, and the horse begins to trudge on. The iron hoop wheels kind of clatter along the cobblestone as they begin to enter the city of Hardcastle. But as you all approach the gate, the guards hold up one hand. Halt!
Out of there, friends.
State your business.
Oh, we're just a group of sellswords, kind of just on our way through.
And, do you have any cargo?
No, sir. Just what we have on us. Things for the road.
And what about that one? Kind of points behind you as he sees all of you riding in the cart. You see two other guards begin to pass the gentleman who's asking you questions, Calder.
He's pointing at who asking about?
Isaiah and the cart that you all were... Do you mind if we take a look?
By all means.
Simple procedure.
Yeah, sure. The metal gentleman there is a creation of his. He's actually a rather smart gentleman.
Take a look at that. The other two kind of give him a nod. One kind of nervously looks at you, Isaiah. He seems to be a little bit younger, a thin little mustache. His hair seems like he's done himself up for a job of guard duty. A little bit too proper. You see he carries a spear, and he walks to your right. and another gentleman who seems a little bit older, tired. You can see these dark, baggy circles under his eyes. His jowls kind of hang low. This handlebar mustache is a thin gray that kind of goes down, and almost a little Fu Manchu action going down, but his white hair is tousled. He also carries a spear. These guards wear a similar color that you remember, Calder. This kind of clay-like, deep clay-like red and orange mixture with this dark brown is the kind of the colors that they wear. He walks up to you and he says, "Can you explain what that is?" Kind of looking at you, Isaiah, and you see the young one kind of ting ting with his spear. It's metal.
Yes, that's my friend Oog. He say hello, buddy. He brings a hand out and up and waves slightly and then puts it back down.
They all back up.
We built them for a traveling show, but they didn't want to pay up, so I've just been carrying them around for a while.
Give me a deception check.
Good lie, though.
Yeah,
Excellent lie.
Vulcan's sitting beside watching this, kind of with the raised eyebrow, seeing how it goes.
Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy.
Oh,
Nice!
oh,
That's a total of 19 on my nat 20.
Hey,
Very good. Natural 20. You're part of a circus? I haven't seen one of them come through town in a long time.
Oh, damn it. Eventually, we're going to find a town that's got a circus somewhere so I can get rid of these things.
Well,
They're
what can he
taking
do?
up so much room. Wave. He's big, so he can crush things pretty well. Oh, the little one here, though, can actually fly a bit.
Like watermelons? The younger one says.
Yes, if you put a watermelon in front of a crowd, he can definitely smash that and splash it everywhere. Certainly.
Oh, how do you get it to move?
I tell it.
It just listens to you.
Yes.
Is it magic?
Of course not. There's all sorts of clockwork going on inside that thing.
Of course it wouldn't be magic, you fool. It's mechanical. Quite an impressive feat. He turns back. I think they're all right. Just part of a traveling group of performers. Well, you heard the man. Head on in.
Say, just before we go, it's been a long time since I've been through town. There was a tavern I remember really loving the ale. The copper. Damn, what was it? The copper beard. Is that still around?
I think so. I believe so. I haven't been there myself, but it's smaller joint up at the part of town.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much, friend. You all have yourselves a nice day. And just
I'm just gonna make sure as I
Let's
go
go in.
past, hood up, like kind of normal side of the face turned towards him. Don't want to cause any commotion.
Just gonna wave as we pass.
They all kind of
As we-
just
as
are
we-
staring at you as you're going through.
As we pass, the younger one, I give a little wink as we go forward.
Okay. And as you all walk through the town gates and into what looks like a large town square, you do recognize the merchant that had pulled in front of you has pulled into a little spot in the town square here. The horses that he was carrying seem to be being stabled here, right in the inside of town as you cross this little bridge, which a small little stream kind of runs through. It seems like this merchant is busying himself. He's beginning to set up these different parts of canvas, retrieving contents of what looks like a stall that he's putting up. You see all around you that pools and signs and banners are beginning to be hung. Tables all around you are being set out, and goods are beginning to be placed upon them. All sorts of number of things. From all these different merchants as you are walking into what looks like the town center, the gate probably only 100 so or a few hundred feet away from you, so you begin to enter into this large cobblestone square with a small little fountain that sits in the middle, but all around you see that these stalls are popping up, even as the sun is beginning to set here. But, like I said, as the sun is kind of fading here in Hardcastle, the town seems to be in some sort of earnest. It's beginning to transform as you begin to walk through it.
GM, do I recognize this as like some kind of seasonal celebration, or
You can give me a history check.
natural 20?
Perfect.
Damn.
Damn!
Not that you know
Wow.
of.
Okay.
You do know, whenever you were younger, though, that the market here would, well, what should I say? That this place is usually visitors come here in droves.
Okay.
The open market that's set up in Hardcastle is one of the largest in the area because people come from all over. There's a large dwarven population that sits to the south. They call that are known as the Golden Dwarves. They travel up in here and try to sell their goods. People from all around in Hardcastle. It's a good center spot between traveling to the major capital cities, from the east especially. But yeah, around you, the square that is usually mere cobble and dirt is now swathed in fabric. It is filled with stalls and a myriad of colors that you can see. You begin to see signs that proclaim that many different wares are being sold. And folks of all stripes begin to roam the stalls nearby. Seemingly just curious. No one seems to be buying anything at the moment. Kind of giving you the assumption that whatever this kind of market day that is being set up is going to be happening probably the next day. But the early goers are kind of setting up their stalls as you are. You see some decorations kind of getting set up, probably by some guards and what seems like simple townsfolk are beginning to set up just the town square to become this like market-esque vibe. Probably do it maybe a monthly or a weekly kind of thing, almost like an open fleet market.
Okay. Did you say there was a stable near?
Yeah,
Where we
as
entered?
you are, you are near a stable. So
Y'all want to go put up the horses for the night?
Yeah, let's do that.
And just real quick, check in with Ren. Who did you end up putting those connections to? Because I know I kind of cut you
Oh.
off.
Yeah, no, I hadn't made them yet. Yeah, so I can definitely make one to Isaiah, and then I guess if you're gonna go off and search for the criminal underbelly, I should probably do one for you. But then I was thinking, if you're gonna go talk to criminals, maybe I should go with you because I speak the language.
Splitting party 3 ways.
I
All
just-
right, then, Ren, do you want to give the link to me?
Yeah. Okay, so I'll connect to Isaiah and to Castus, and that will last for 3 hours, assuming we are within 1 mile of each other.
Well, all right. Before that connection's up, we'd best decide on an inn to all collect at.
Yeah. Should we just go there first and then split off?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
That'd be smart.
Sure.
Well,
Oh,
the only thing I'm thinking is it looks like they're setting up something for tomorrow, this big open air market. Do we want to maybe wait and restock then?
well,
Maybe.
I
That's
mean,
probably a good idea.
wouldn't it be better for the early bird to get the worm? I mean, though they're setting up, we would technically have first pick of what they have. And if we're going to be doing stuff tomorrow,
They might not be ready to sell anything yet. They might just
I
be
s-
still putting things together.
well, are we planning on doing anything tonight? Because if not, I might just want to go ask anyways.
That's
Hey,
fair
I
enough.
mean, I never know
If
if anything
anything
would
look-
turn down more coin.
And I mean, if anything looks cool, I could at least get something and bring it back.
That's fair. All right. Then yes, if you could, or at least give us directions to follow to, and we'll meet you guys there.
All
Calder,
right.
we're in kind of in your home, so you kind of have to lead the way.
Sure. Yep.
Up to you.
I'll have Castus pass on the word to Ren. Ren, you can pass it on to Isaiah once we
Yeah.
find a place.
Yeah, well, again, maybe we should just all go together because, like I said, if we get outside of 1 mile of each other, I don't know how big the city is, but if you guys are past a mile, then I can't talk to you. So
Well,
Meet
that
up
makes
first,
sense.
Then split up. Can't take too long
Sure.
to
Alright.
come in, say it like this.
Fair enough.
DM.
Mm-hmm.
Do I remember any inns besides the Copper Beard?
Probably not specifically. There are probably a few, but asking around, if you were looking for a decent inn that probably has rooms at this time of night, the Great Keep is what they call it. Would be an
The
inn.
Great Keep?
The Great Keep Inn, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sort of toot
Well.
our own horn a little bit there.
Yeah, I guess so. We'll see how great they are.
If you don't know this one, why don't we stay at the one you know about?
Because that one is infested with rats.
Can I insight that?
just straight up don't believe you.
Do I have advantage?
It
on
was
this
the
from
most
that
awkward
drink?
lie, but 23.
Wow.
Do I have
Wow.
advantage on that from that drink I took?
Still don't believe you.
I think everyone has advantage on that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
that's it.
fucking well.
Insight. That's
17.
a 21.
I got a 21 as well.
Ooh.
23. I don't know.
I got a
Could be.
Big
14.
rats, huh? There lots and lots of rats, huh?
So it's not that you trust his lie or trust that
Right.
it's the rats, but you just trust in the fact that Calder really probably doesn't want you guys to go there for whatever reason it may be.
I mean, rats don't sound too bad. They're okay, I guess. Don't really
I'm not
think
staying somewhere with rats. No way.
There you go.
Okay,
I think
fine.
the Great Keep is more likely to have the space that we need anyway.
Sure,
Hmm,
sure.
sounds
Out of
good.
curiosity, though, if you wanted to like put your ear to the ground to hear rumors and stuff, would the other one be a good place to go? For us, not for you.
Nope.
Sure thing,
I don't
bud.
want to insight.
All right.
Term.
Maybe.
As we set off to go find the inn, Welkin looks to Eorens and says, to it telepathically, go find the copperhead. Go.
You see the cat kind of disappear into the sky as it flies off.
Maybe. All right. I don't know why I'm still being so fucking cagey. Call it a habit. The Copperbeard is my dad's tavern. If it's still there, if he's still there. I'm not ready for that yet.
Yeah.
It might be a good place to ask for rumors and stuff. He was he was
Don't worry.
half.
We were going there first, no matter what you said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew you fucking were. That's why I had to come clean. Listen, he was in his younger days. He was, renowned might not be the right word, but he was a warrior. People knew who he was, so he might know things.
Oh, wait. So, okay. If his tavern was known, does he make good food?
Do I remember good food?
Yeah, I mean, whenever your dad's tavern was in business, whenever you were a younger kid, that place was booming. Every working man kind of around the city not only would go there for, just the food and the ale and such, but just to be kind of in your father's presence. It seemed like he had an attraction to people. He would tell stories of, all the sorts of different heroics that he was a part of when he was about your age now. But he seemed to have an attraction to him.
Yeah.
Even though he was sort of subtle, in it.
Food's good. Stories are good.
Then we will go support father.
Wow.
Eventually. But we will. We should.
Maybe.
So wait, so where's this other inn we're going to?
This has been a walk and talk, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all gonna talk.
I'm just kind of like looking around at the buildings.
Yeah, we're heading to the. What's the fucking name of it again?
The Great Keep.
Great Castle,
Keep
the Great
in.
Keep. Yes.
The Great Keep. Inn.
Great castle.
Is that where you guys are heading?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're pointing
so.
in a direction, opposite side of the city than where you remember your father's tavern being. And the tavern that your father had was not too far from your home, but it seems like to be heading in the opposite direction. So if you're looking at facing the tower, you guys are kind of heading to the right side of the city. Eventually, Jorns, you kind of realize that you guys are traveling in the opposite direction, and he would have to come back with you. He does not catch any sign of the copper beard. No signs of a sign or anything of resemblance. Okay, as you begin to travel farther and farther in the opposite direction. So I'd like to hear.
So
Are we there?
yeah,
I'm getting there. I'm changing it.
Okay.
So as you begin to travel through the city streets here, you know that it seems like the night activity here is pretty slow. Almost everything is closed. You do see signs of different types of shops and interesting places that you would see would probably be quite the interesting shopping experience in this place in the middle of the day. But it seems like as the night is coming to, that this place is kind of quiet at night. The city streets away from the market are kind of slow. Not too many people pass you as you're traveling through. But you do see, like I said, quite the wide distribution of individuals as you travel the streets here. Some human, dwarves, gnomes. You see some halflings running around, some half-elven individuals as well. So the demographics here are quite, varied, though you do see more human than anything else. Everyone, as you pass them, seem rather welcoming. No one's kind of avoiding their gaze or kind of dashing out of your way. They all kind of give you a friendly smile and a wave, those that you do pass. But eventually you do arrive to the Great Keep Inn. The inn outside is a large building. It's made of different types of timber and brick walls. You can see that it is brightly lit with Isaiah, with your keen eye, and I guess Velkin too, that the candles are not lit specifically with flame, but it seems like some sort of magic. And you can see some crystal chandeliers within the inside are brightly lit. So as you walk in, you can see behind the bar a female human, kind of catering to a bunch of different individuals within here. It is a rowdy crowd. You can see people playing cards and drinking and eating. This is quite a busy establishment this evening.
I guess I'll go up and try to get the woman's attention.
One moment, she says to you as she's kind of rushing around.
Take your time.
She finally scoots in as the rest of you find a table, kind of towards the outskirts of the room. How can I help you? She's kind of breathing heavily.
Got a group of us trying to get a few inns, probably just for the night, maybe longer.
Well, I can't really provide you with any more inns, but I do have rooms.
Sorry?
You said you were looking for a few inns.
Ah, damn it! I'm all out of whack. Great.
I mean,
rooms would be fantastic.
1 second, and she kind of reaches under the bar and pulls out what looks like a small ledger. She begins to flip through. I have several smaller rooms available. Though we do have woolen mattresses. That's okay with you?
Yeah, that's great. How much would it be for 3 rooms for a night?
There's 2 beds in each room. Is that okay?
That'll do.
That's going to be 6 silver a room.
Excellent. I will take 3 then.
Perfect. I'll have them set up.
Of course. And
Ronnie! She hear a yell back. You see a short, gray, haired dwarf kind of come running out from behind the bar. Her gray hair, and she has light brown eyes. As she walks out, she's kind of limping. As you look down, she has this very distinctive scar on her leg. Yes, Enel. 3 rooms need to be prepared for a few guests. Quickly now. She kind of snaps at her. Yes, my lady. And she kind of gives her a small little bow, and she kind of hobbles off. You can see she goes up a flight of stairs and disappears into a farther hallway.
Oh, thank you kindly, ma'am. I'm gonna hand her just 2 gold pieces.
Mhm.
Keep the change.
Oh.
You seem real busy. I appreciate the help.
Thank you.
That little Ronnie was the name.
That was it. One moment. You see her kind of give a snap to what looks like the ceiling, and all of a sudden, as you ask that question, a set of wings kind of flies by you, quick as a flash, as you see the 2 gold kind of disappear from in front of you, and kind of perching on what looks like this small little wooden pedestal that kind of has this U-like structure at the very top of it, a large golden hawk that kind of just sits there, and you see it drop the 2 gold into this bucket. Ting is it drops the gold inside the bucket. So, yes, Ronnie, she's been with my family for a long time. Loves to help out.
With your family?
Ah, yes. The Reeves?
The Reeves. I'm sorry, she's a servant of some kind?
No, she just loves helping out. Does the cleaning, sets up the rooms, some of the cooking.
I see. Family friend.
Indeed.
Ah, well.
She's the one that trained Brengi here.
Oh.
You see the kind of the hawk give a shiver. You can see these 2 pads that cover its eyes.
Well, that's lovely. Thank you very much for the rooms. I think we have a bit of business about town, but I'm sure we'll be back. Maybe have a couple of drinks.
Are you here for the market?
Maybe. We're kind of making our way through town. We thought we might visit the market in the morning.
Oh, perfect. Okay, it's exciting. The wares have been lately, but
How so? Or why, I guess.
it's just normal things. None of the exciting stuff really comes through anymore. They've been kind of more strict at what comes into the city recently.
Oh, do you know why that's been?
Multiple different things. Things have been getting smuggled through. There has also been rumors of attacks on the road, that a lot of the more valuable things are disappearing. People abandoning caravans and being attacked by monstrosities. But
Right. We've been hearing about a bit of that as well.
And where are you coming from?
We're actually just in from Torsh.
I had a cousin in Torsh. Wonder how he's doing.
What was his name?
Johnson.
Johnson. First, last name?
First name as much as I remember. I haven't talked to him in a long time.
I see. Well, not ringing a bell, sorry. Things are a little crazy over there. Hopefully
Crazy how?
he's all right. Just sort of a tense situation. They've had some, like you were saying, some things going missing. Stuff of that sort.
I know they provide a lot of wool for the Hardcastle family in the city here, but is there anything that you need to report to the warden or anything?
No. I mean, I don't know too much about it. We just kind of passed through. Just heard kind of a general.
Sorry if I'm prying or anything. I am an innkeeper, and news flows here a lot. So
of course, yeah, I just don't know too much to share. That's all. Sorry.
Sorry, I'm just gonna whisper to Calder. Should we tell her about the attack, or at least the mission? I mean, we should say something, shouldn't we?
One moment.
I just tap him on the shoulder and start to kind of turn him around. Anyway, have a great night. We'll be back in a little while.
Wait, where are we going?
We're leaving, and we're not gonna say shit as we walk away.
Okay.
Not our circus, not our monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were a circus.
We don't want to tie ourselves to this situation any more than we have to, Egg.
Yeah.
Just
Besides, the Emerald Enclave's already here, so
Yep.
I'm sure they took care of it. That's their
So-
job.
all right. Well, we have rooms.
Calder, are you ready? Are
accomplished.
you ready to go check what you need to check? Your enthusiasm is infectious. I can feel the excitement buzzing through you. And grab my shoulders. You can do this.
Redrick, give me a perception check.
Is this for information gathering? Probably not.
Not really.
Yeah, I was gonna say. There's a stretch. Oh, nat 19 for a 22.
Ooh.
Okay. You being probably the most familiar with these kind of settings, the individuals in here, there are a few that kind of stick out to you. You're always looking for the curious bunch inside the inn as you frequent them. There are a few that you see that it seemed to be kind of stick out amongst the other seemingly like working crowd. You do see a smaller halfling male. He seems to be fair in appearance. He has this braided blonde hair, these narrow brown eyes, but he wears plate mail. And at his side, he wields some sort of a hammer. Sitting next to him is another human, but he's a male. He's short, rather thin. He has this long silver hair and these sharp amber eyes. He also wears plate mail and seems to be wielding some sort of like a bastard sword and a light crossbow that kind of sits at the behind his back.
Does the plate mail look like any kind of uniform? You know what I mean? Like, are they the same plate mail? Like, they belong to the same group?
It seems similar. They also have this kind of dark purple cloak that matches. So
Well,
there
that'll
are
do it.
similarities, right? Without it making you roll it again. You also see another individual sitting at the table, a male elf, who has thin auburn hair and bright blue eyes, rather small-looking little mouth. He wears some sort of mail himself and wields a halberd. Last but not least, you see a woman sitting with them as well. Fair in appearance as well. Blonde hair, brown eyes. Seems to be the same height as the human figure. Stands a little bit taller, probably like 6'1". She also wears this kind of like odd banded mail and wields a massive warhammer that sits next to her. The two that you saw, the elf and the woman, do not match as much as the two that they're talking to. But those are the four individuals that kind of stand out to you.
Okay, and those purple cloaks, do they mean anything to me? Like, would that be like a group I know of?
Give me a history check.
Sure. Not 15 for a 16.
A 16. The colors don't really resemble anything that you would know.
This is
There's
just
no
him seeing this, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say he's more
I have you
keen
by
to
the shoulders.
this type of environment than the
Yeah,
majority of you.
It's shaking me.
You got this.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Kind of just while that's going on, I'll just like wander away and right on over to that table. Probably just like find an abandoned like mug and just like grab it on the way and just pull up a chair from another table and sit down. It's like, so, right at the table. What
You
are we
see
playing? Looks fun.
the male that is wearing the plate mail with the silver hair and these deep amber eyes kind of turns to you. Can we help you?
Oh, well, you all
They
seemed
all
like
just-
you were playing some kind of game here. I thought I would just join in.
It wasn't a game. We were having a private conversation. You decided to intrude on it.
Apologies, my friend. I was mistaken. And I'll just, like, sit there. Like, I'm just gonna, like, wait for them to do something.
Should we ask for you to be escorted out, or...
Oh, no,
Kinda
I'm
looks at
just,
the other
I'm
two.
just drinking.
Right. Well, my friends, it looks like our conversation is ending early. In the morn, we will meet about what we are discussing here tonight. Farewell. Hope to speak to you soon. And you see the halfling just sitting there glaring at you at the side with his arms kind of crossed. Yeah. We'll see you later, he says as he scoots his chair out, picks up his mug, and him and the gentleman walk out. They turn and they actually leave the establishment. The other two are getting up, the elf and the female. Sorry. We're not really into games, but can I buy you a drink or something?
I
Kind of
mean,
rude.
I'm never gonna turn down a drink. But what was that all about? I mean, they seemed kind of rude just walking away like that.
Oh, you did intrude on a business meeting, you hear the elf say.
Well, I am a connoisseur of the business arts, so.
You look like a town drunk, but we will buy you a drink and you will be on your way, or we will.
You know what? That works for me, honestly. Just drink the rest of that mug I grabbed and just
Oh,
follow
He
them
slides
to the
you
bar.
over. He slides you over 2 silver,
Appreciate
And
the
as you-
gesture.
and as you get up, they kindly scoot themselves out of their chairs, and they also exit the establishment.
I'm gonna wait like just long enough that it seems like I'm gonna stay there, and then I'm gonna get up and go over to Ren and just be like, "Hey, got some interesting people, tailing them.
all right. Bye, guys.
Good luck."
Hey, good luck.
Have fun. Don't
Ugh.
get dead.
Okay, so which group are you deciding to follow?
The purple cloaks seem more interesting to me for some reason. I don't know
Okay.
why.
It's the purple dog.
I know, right? It is
Yeah.
the purple.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
All right.
Uh,
Oh,
18.
8.
No.
8?
Yeah. Nat 4. Okay, I'm pretty good at stealth. Bad rolls.
You see them descending the hill as they walk towards the bottom of the town. They kind of quickly make a quick right into another road, and you lose sight of them for a moment. As you two are kind of following, you see Redrick is trying to keep pace, and he's kind of outpacing you for a moment, Ren. You see him turn the corner, and Redrick, as you do, you see the human with the long silver hair kind of sitting at his breastplate, leaning up against the building, and the halfling kind of standing in the center of what looks like this road, his hammer kind of in hand, and he's kind of twirling it. Well, if you wanted to ask us something, you could have just asked us. There's really no need to be following us.
I mean, I was just wondering where you got those fancy purple cloaks. Slipped my mind when we were talking earlier.
I'm going to try to stay out of sight.
Okay. So you're kind of dipping out, and probably not quite into the alley, but staying close.
Staying close. Yeah, I want to stay within earshot and definitely within dagger distance.
Okay. It's none of your business. You should take it elsewhere. Head back to the inn and to your friends.
Come on, don't be like that. I mean, can I get one myself? Is that like a group thing, or I mean, they just.
You should listen to him, boy. Quite dangerous with that hammer. As the male kind of like unleans himself from the wall.
Ah. All right, you win. Fair. Just curious, though.
Be careful who you decide to follow. You may end up with another scar on the other side of your face.
Hey, I've given out quite a few scars of my own, my friend, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
You should be worried.
Why's that?
I think we're a little bit much that you yourself could handle. Actually, I promise you that.
I mean,
Listen, I'm really not trying to make any enemies here. We are only here for business, but if I would have to... we would have to dispose of a potential thief in the night. I'm sure the town guards would understand.
no kind of thievery here. Just interested. Saw a couple sit out in the tavern, that's all. Trying to get the lay of the land here, kind of new in town. Thought you might have an idea about that.
What's your name, boy?
Well, friends call me Redrick.
Well, Redrick, you have a great evening. We'll be on our way.
Alright, you as well. Did I catch your name?
Maybe tomorrow, if I'm feeling like a better mood.
Staying in town then.
For the time.
Well, catch you at the market then.
Kind of gives you like a small little bow. Odd red, amberish eyes to this human-like figure. Very pale like skin, silver hair.
He's a Sith.
But yeah, they don't seem to want to talk, so I'm just gonna like give them like a, it's like, see ya, and just kind of like go right around the corner. I don't actually say see ya, but you know.
And as you do, you see Ren kind of.
Yeah.
Ren's gonna stay where she's at. She's gonna try to stay hidden as like Redrick walks away. She's gonna linger and wait and see if she hears anything.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
17.
17. The only thing you do here is, come on, Willis. We have some business. Willis. Willas.
And that's the human or the halfling speaking?
The human.
Okay, to the halfling.
Yep.
Okay.
The Eben Ford waits.
The what wakes?
Eben Ford waits.
The Eben Ford waits. Okay. All right. When I hear them, I guess walk off.
What are you gonna do, Ren?
I'm just gonna like walk right by her, trying to act like she's not there, not to give her away.
Do I hear them walk off? Do they exit the same?
They begin to leave, and you hear the halfling say, "Man, I was really waiting for a fight. Haven't had one of those in a long time. That would have been an easy one. Street rat like them. In time. A hammer will be bloody again, I promise you, your little friend."
Fuck, no, I'm not connected to anyone else. All right. All right. The Eben, what was it called? The Eben what? I stopped
Eben
writing.
Ford.
Eben Ford.
Yeah, EBONFORD.
Got it. All right. All right, so I'll let them get away, and then I'll just kind of mosey on towards Redrick and say, the Eben Ford. Ever heard of it?
Have I?
Or have I?
Roll me a history check, both of you.
Alright. It's got a cool name, so I got a 5.
I also got a 5.
Nice.
Neither one of you ever heard of the Eben Ford. Sounds cool.
Eben Ford. What are you talking about it?
It's, you said it awaits, so I think it might be a place or maybe like an organization. Maybe something to look into, but I mean, they're just interesting looking people with purple cloaks. It's not necessarily anything.
Yeah. Damn. That one looked like he wanted to fight. The other one was holding him back. I feel it.
Yeah, no, he definitely did. The little guy, he was super angry. He wanted to kill you. Or at least, like, you know, get his hammer bloody. They seem pretty violent.
Yeah. Yeah, a little odd. Anyway, we could try and find those other two, or we could just head to the the Copper Beard, was it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, we can see if we see the other two, but we definitely got to go see what Calder's dad looks like, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
He's gonna be gray?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. It's a dumb question. So did the other two go the same way, or did they?
No, they kind of split.
Opposite. Okay. I don't know how we'd even find them.
Yeah, it's been a few minutes at this point, huh?
Yeah. Maybe just keep an eye out for him and head to the Copper Beard. If we see him, we can try to tail him. And I won't stay ahead of you.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you take the lead,
maybe.
I'll follow. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
So
if we need
to,
I'll drop the connection to the others and make one to you, but not yet.
All right.
So you guys are attempting to find the Copper Beard?
Yes.
Yes.
And just keeping an eye out for those other two along the way, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then I've got that urchin background too, so.
Give me an investigation check with advantage, Ren. The rest of you, what are you doing?
Yeah, as this is going on, Castus, stop fucking shaking me for a damn minute.
God damn it.
Stop stalling and let's
It's been
go.
a full 10 damn minutes of shaking. I'm fine.
Just pukes a little bit.
Yeah.
Honorable can sit on this ride for 2 hours.
You can't shake the baby. Yeah, all right. I'm going to change things up a little bit. Oh, I'm going to the Copperbeard. I'm going. And I leave.
That was a dirty 20, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go, Vulcan.
Yeah, Vulcan looks. She was actually standing. She'd made her way kind of like over to the bar, and she has like 3 shots in her hand, and it's like, "All right, I'm coming!" and like hurries after you guys.
Perfect. What does Vulcan drink? What is his quest?
Ooh,
Ooh, the tough questions that the DM asks the player.
I don't know.
What is your drink?
Let's go.
Choice.
Let's go tequila.
Mm.
Tequila, and
Spicy.
she hands one to Castus as they're like going to catch up with Calder, and just kind of like looks over her shoulder and is like, "Thought he could use some liquid courage."
Yep.
Yeah, she downs hers and then takes the. She just walks out of the inn with the glass. She doesn't
No one
care.
ever stops you.
And catches up with Calder and like bumps him with her shoulder and says, "Here."
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah.
She just throws on the ground. Yeah.
I was like, so, when was the last time you saw your dad?
Oh, 12 years? How's the makeup look? Is all right?
You look good, I think.
Good.
And I grab out like a coin and kind of cast light on it so I can get a better look of your on the makeup.
I think I put my hands around it just to like keep it local. So it's not like obvious.
It looks good. So yeah. You ready? You pumped? You excited?
No. Wait.
Do you think he wants to see you?
I don't probably.
Okay, well that's that's a good start at least.
I mean, what kind of terms did you leave on? Was it like happy terms, bad terms, semis, okay terms?
Complicated terms. Just I'm Tommy. We're gonna say my name's Tommy. All right.
Is that actually your name?
Bring that back.
No, that's not actually my name, but for now, as we go that way, I'm Tommy. All right.
Why Tommy?
I want to do an insight check to see if this is his real name. If he's telling the truth. Oh, that's bad. That's a 7. You're Tommy.
Tommy's his
He's
real
Tommy.
name.
I'm not
his
saying it's
real
my
name.
real name.
Yeah,
I didn't
it
say
is.
it's my real name. It's
You'd be lying. I don't know.
you
Right,
do
Tommy.
you think no? No. No, just I this is not a reunion that I feel prepared for right now, but I do want to look in on them and see how my parents are doing, preferably without them knowing that it's me. So I'm Tommy.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want like
Okay.
me and Velkin to kind of go in first, and you kind of stay in the back, just kind of
Nope.
check out? Nope. Okay.
I'm gonna assume that Ren did a good enough work and that I look different enough after 12 years that hopefully we're good. So we're just gonna go for it. Did you have another shot by chance? As I continue walking.
Unfortunately not, but we can probably get some back at the bar after.
Well, we'll get some drinks at the Copperbeard.
Okay, so, not the song I wanted. It's okay. Make it super sad, and,
What?
It's a reunion.
Why is sad? Well, we're trying to Keep him on
Meeting
the
the parents for
DL.
the first
You
time.
just
It's
find a
gotta be
big
sad.
gravestone with your dad's name on it when you get
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
That's it. In the middle of the street.
In loving memory.
God.
Calder's dad.
Okay,
It
so
yeah, it says Calder's dad.
the two of you, Ren and Redrick, I forgot your name there for a second. Redrick, it's
Fair.
probably about a 15-minute walk until you find, after asking around a little bit, the Copper Beard. You do see at the smaller alley of town a small single-story wooden building that on the outside kind of hangs this. It seems like old and weathered sign that kind of resembles what looks like at one time was probably painted in a copper tone paint of this like carved wooden beard, and on it says the Copper Beard. You can see it kind of sits at an angle now. The door is open. You can feel the heat of a hearth and smell the signs of smoke. Smell the signs of smoke from the inside. But as you walk in, you don't see too many people kind of in there as patrons. You see behind the bar a younger, what looks like for an elf, gentleman. He seems probably, if you would kind of compare him to human age, probably in his early 20s, 21 looking. He's kind of wiping off the bar in a very neat and orderly fashion, cleaning some glassware. You do see a few patrons, probably about 5 or so people within the building itself. But the inn itself has a few crude wooden tables and benches, and in the center of it has a large, what looks like cauldron and hearth that is just kind of, the fire is burning, keeping the place warmly lit. He kind of looks up at all of you and he looks, hello, welcome. Find a seat. I will be with you in a moment.
Okay, thanks.
Will do. I think that's him.
Something tells me probably not. I will look for a seat, like, I guess, probably kind of near some of the other patrons so that we can try to overhear shit.
Sure. Give me a perception check.
May I also make this or assist with it or something? Okay.
Sure. What do you guys would like to do?
So I got an 18.
I got an 11.
Okay. You see a few different patrons in this establishment. You see a male and a female elf seeming to be enjoying what looks like either like mugs of cider or some light ale. It's hard to tell. And a very fair size plate of whatever was cooked in the back. Some sort of like salted bird and maybe some artichoke or some other things. They seem to be talking quietly with one another. You see another human male, this narrow face and short white hair, kind of sitting by himself, sipping a tankard. Another female, a halfling. She seems a little bit professionally dressed. She has this wiry copper hair, bright green eyes, these very big, prominent ears that kind of sit out at the side of her head. She wears modest garments and a feathered hat. Kind of sits a little bit wide brimmed and at a tilt with a large feather at the side of it. One other gentleman in the building. He sits by himself next to the fire. He seems to be reading a book of some sorts. He has this angular face, this matted brown hair, and these kind of deep green eyes. He also wearing modest garments, and you see several pouches kind of hanging from his belt. But other than that, there's not really much talk going on. You do hear the two whispering a few things just about how their day was, and they were excited for the market tomorrow. The gentleman says, it's been quite boring recently. There's not much. It's just wasting money at this point. Little knickknacks and things being made by people we don't want to buy from. She giggles. And they continue their meal. Eventually, the elven male comes up to you, the guy who's tending the bar. And he says, he sets 2 glasses in front of you. Is there anything specific that I could help you with? salted duck and artichoke is the special for the evening. Ale is on tap as well. If you're interested.
A glass, whatever the strongest thing you have is, and I'll try that salted duck.
Sure.
Yeah, ale for me too, and maybe not like a whole duck, but do you have just like some bread or something?
Oh, well, actually, it's a specialty. We have some pine nut bread and some whey cheese if you'd like.
Oh, yeah, that sounds great. Thank you.
Perfect. 3 copper pieces for that and 8 copper pieces for the duck.
Sure.
Just give him a second.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sounds-
Oh, thank
Another
you so much.
silver.
That's modest. Give me a moment and I'll have it whipped up for you.
Sure,
While we're
thanks so
here,
much.
There was one other thing we were looking for. Mostly just information, right? We can see there's a big market going on in town. We're kind of new around here. Just wondering what, goes on in town.
Oh, well, that's monthly market. Every once in a while, the people of those surrounding areas they come and sell their wares. I remember when I was a boy, it used to be way more magical. Things that you would see from the dwarves that were made that I've never seen before in my life. Little metallic dragons that when you wound and unwound, it would fly, and very, very beautiful craftsmanship. Now it's just rather drab. People selling things that we could buy in the market any other day. But you might find something unique. Every once in a while, there are a few things that pop up.
We've heard that there's been trouble with the market recently with everything coming in, and you guys haven't been able to get anything cool. How long has that been going on?
Last couple of months, I would say. I know the Emerald Enclave moved in not too long ago. They've been policing the roads, kind of dangers of some sort happening. Slowed progress. I can definitely tell. The travel on the road has not been as what it used to be.
Yeah, we've heard crazy stories. We passed through Torish recently, and we heard something nuts about like missing sheep. I don't even know. Elvedor had weird stuff going on. Has anything happened here?
That I've heard of. I'm busy life. I tend to the inn most days and nights. So.
Sure.
But I'm sorry.
Sorry.
You could ask around, but I'm
Yeah.
not really the one.
Sure, don't let us keep you.
No, I'm just
Sorry.
curious.
Thank you.
Give me a moment. It might take a few minutes until I have it ready for you, but just be patient. I promise it's some of the best duck you'll ever have.
Better be.
Anybody in here look like Calder?
Perception check.
At what point do we show up as well?
You're about
This is
15 or
also
so
curious.
minutes behind them. You're still,
That was a 5.
You do not. Out of the 5 patrons that you see, you don't see anybody that resembles the skin color.
And that one man is the only employee we see.
Yep.
I'm not specifically looking for skin color because I got the impression from Calder that he looked different.
Okay,
from
so
Eric's.
similar features and
Yeah,
And,
like
age
his face.
range,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing.
Not really. It's hard to tell. You don't really. You know that Calder isn't elven per se, just by his normal features. So the only other person that may, or a halfling, maybe he's secretly halfling, that may be part of Calder's family is the older gentleman, the one that sits by himself.
Reading.
Yeah, no. That is an elf. That's an elf.
Oh, okay.
This one sits by himself. He's wearing like travel stained clothing. He also has several pouches along his belt, but he's sipping a tankard of ale by himself. Narrow face, short white hair, kind of brown, golden eyes.
Just follow Ren's gaze, look over my shoulders,
I don't know. I'm not getting any. Yeah, I'm not getting any super oh, that's definitely them vibes. You know.
Alright, so we either ask for the manager, or we cause a ruckus and they come down anyway.
What if I don't know, maybe what if he cooks or something? Maybe when the food comes out we can be like, oh my god, this is so good. Can we give our compliments to the owner?
To the owner. Who owns this? They hired a really good chef.
Yeah.
He had to get special, so we'll see what he's got. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
A little bit of time passes, and eventually, as he is bringing the food out to you, here it is, piping hot, and you can see the steam kind of rolling off the pieces of bird that are on the plate. You can smell that nice salty smell that is coming. Comes alongside it. A nice chunk of artichoke sits on the side of it. Both of the ales have been filled for you as well. Just about that time is exactly whenever the rest of you are kind of coming in. So Calder, you do recognize this simple wooden building with a sign of the Copper Beard. Definitely not what you remember it. You remember that sign being one of the coolest things that you ever were able to help your father hang up. Perfectly straight. And now it kind of holds at an angle, and it's this very dull wood kind of chipped weather stained sign. You can see the remnants of the Copper Beard written in this very fine handwriting that you remember your mother writing at one point. Kind of up this winding street, this cobblestone street on the western part of Hardcastle.
As we enter, taking stock of the room, do I see either my mother or my father?
Perception check.
As soon as Calder walks in, like, put the hood and, like,
I mean, I definitely see them. 17.
You do not, but you definitely see them.
Okay.
Mentally, I'll say, "What are you doing here?"
We told him to come here.
I'll nod to the table they're sitting at. Why don't y'all go have a seat, maybe get some drinks or something. I'm gonna go have a word with the bartender.
Okay. Well, we're here if you need us.
Sure.
Bring me a drink. Falcon's gonna walk over to Renan. Redrick.
Sit down. Hi.
hey!
Hey, Falcon leans over and takes something off Ren's like plate and like one piece of bread and just
Ren
Pick at the
watches
duck. Yep.
with like the eyes of a little sister for a second,
just
thinking crazy, and then she lets you.
she's just eating. It's like
Start playing with the handle of your daggers.
So you walk up to the bar.
Yeah.
More guests. Welcome. Friends of yours then?
Yes, sir. Kind of new in town, passing through.
Welcome to the Copper Beard.
Thank you very much. Forgive me. I was here once before, many years ago. I remember this place being a lot more busy, energetic.
Yeah. Not as many people come here. A few other inns popped up. The Reeves family kind of took over the eastern part of the city and took a lot of our business, but we still accept whoever may come through our doors, very humbly. Kind of slow here.
Yeah. So
You say you've been here before. I don't remember your face.
No, I was years ago. I was a squire, traveling with a knight in service to another lord. Didn't do much more than clean his armor.
Visiting Mr. Hardcastle, then. Oh, Lord Hardcastle.
Those many years ago, the knight I was in service to did. Now, no.
I used to do similar things.
More or less. Try to do good where I can, as a knight would, I suppose.
I did similar things for a good family friend of mine.
Oh. Who's that?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, listen, at the time that I was here, the proprietors of the place They were a couple, I believe. Were they not?
Yes.
Are they still about?
How do I go about saying this? No. They unfortunately passed a few years back. Disease. I'm sorry, did you know them?
Not real well. Disease.
We're in rampant throughout the city for some time. Hardcastle's tried their best to stop it, but claimed a lot of lives.
Oh.
I'm sorry if you did not know. Mr. Vidar trusted me with his life and gave me the establishment before he died.
Oh.
I've been taking care of it ever since.
I see. He didn't happen to I don't know, leave anything messages or tasks for you or anything?
Just to treat this place with as much love as he would have, and to treat the patrons inside of it with just as much respect.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
I'm sorry, you do say you don't know them, but you seem...
Not real well. They had a son last time I was here, a boy about my age. He had kind of weird grayish skin.
I remember him. He left
Mm-hmm.
about 10 or 12 years back. It was hard on Gorstag, and especially his mother, but she kind of stopped working after that. He seemed... he was a warrior. He seemed to age quite quickly. Seemed to take a number on them.
I see.
Did you know him?
The boy?
Mhm.
A little. Yeah.
I used to watch him from a distance. I was curious. All the other boys used to make fun of him, and people around town said that his family mingled, but I knew it wasn't true. Gorstag was a noble man, and his mother was just as proper. There's something odd about him, but I don't know why he left, and I don't think his family did either.
Yeah. I don't know either. People fuck up sometimes. We have some drinks to this table here. Strongest you got.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
If you are a family friend and wanted to visit, they were buried in the cemetery behind the Church of Maliki, not too far off, up the hill
Maliki.
away. Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
Strongest ales. I gotcha.
Thank you.
Coming right up.
No, get up and go back to the table.
I would have been trying to actively listen to that conversation because I'm nosy like that. Would I have heard
think
any
we all
of
would
that?
have.
Yep. I think it was completely
Perception check.
silent at the table.
Just everybody's like,
Yep.
Pretending
Ooh, that's
to
good.
eat.
Especially with us
Perception
four.
is 18.
no such thing as privacy.
20.
No. Oh, perception? 12.
Those of you that rolled higher than a 15 definitely heard it. They were not trying. He was not trying. The bartender was not really trying to be quiet, and this is already a quiet establishment. So,
I got a 21. Sorry, I'm late on that.
No, you're okay.
I'll come and sit down, just kind of lean back in my chair. They're bringing some drinks over.
Yeah. That's great. I was just yelling at these two, like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And they're like, "Well, we decided to come here anyway, in spite of what you said." No, just kind of how they do.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like we said, coming here first.
Looking for rumors.
Yeah.
So, did you live around? I mean, I can't keep my voice down because it is quiet. Did you live around here specifically?
Nearby. Pretty close, actually.
If I know it's not much, but if you want to maybe walk by where you used to live, just to kind of see the place, I'm always up for a walk.
Yeah. I'm gonna stand up. Enjoy the drinks. Yeah. I'm gonna leave.
Okay. Cassis, are you following?
I will follow.
And what are the rest of you going to do? You staying at the inn?
It's rough.
Yeah, that really sucked.
Velkin will stay at the end. You can see, like, she's thinking about something. She doesn't, she just kind of gives, like, an idle nod to Brennan Redrick's conversation.
Eventually, the elven boy kind of brings you all drinks. For the other two, are they coming back?
You got any way to take those on the road?
I could spare the glasses if you're in a hurry.
Nah, so I got a flask. I'll take one of them. We'll take one glass. Appreciate it.
Sure.
We'll drink it.
Duck was great.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. The bread was top notch.
Specialty of mine. I'm working on it for a few years now. But thank you.
My mom used to make something similar. It was really good. Just good bread.
I learned from the best.
I think we'll be heading out now, unless
Yeah.
still got.
I'm sorry, did I say something?
No, you were fine. It's just our friend. Better catch up to him, you know.
Apologies, and please send my apologies to him if I did offend him in any way.
No offense was taken, I'm sure.
You were nothing but helpful.
Yeah, it was great. We'll definitely pass back through when we come back again sometime.
Please do.
Yeah. Take care.
Good night. Enjoy the market. Hopefully you find something interesting.
Thanks. Should probably give Calder some space.
Yeah. I don't think that's a conversation he's gonna be ready to have for a little bit.
Do you think his parents left anything for him?
Possible.
Doesn't seem like it.
Can always see. I won't poke my nose in too much, but he doesn't want to go in as himself, and maybe if they did leave something, if he gets it, it might help.
Maybe. I feel like maybe save that for tomorrow, just because he was just in there, and then I don't think he really wants that guy to know who he is. And then, like, if we, like, pop back in there and ask about, like, oh, the last son, all of a sudden, again, he might start putting some pieces together based on Calder's reaction.
Yeah. Give him some time.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
I will say it doesn't necessarily have to be us that go back in. You know.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, you guys go. I'm going to walk around. Oh,
Alright, sure you don't want to join us? We're probably going to some
Yeah.
interesting places.
I
We're looking
bet.
for thieves.
Sounds a little too adventurous for me. But
Okay.
have fun.
Be careful.
Alright. Shit.
What are the other two of you doing, Calder and Cassis?
Going to the house.
I'd be following. I assume the conversation would be fairly quiet until we actually get to the house. Castus would just kind of keep him to his thoughts and just kind of just look around and give him just let him think for the time being.
Calder, you remember that the house wasn't too far, 2 blocks ahead, and you remember that the houses here are kind of put together rather closely. There isn't much space in between each house, as they're kind of stacked on one another as they go up the hills, and you get to a small curve till you get to this wooden but fairly nice 2-story building that you remember being the home you grew up in. The roof kind of slanted. The upstairs kind of has this small wooden balcony that you remember your dad constructing out of wood a long time ago that led into a small door. You can see the plotted plants that used to be sitting on the railing and now been taken off. The pots themselves seemingly only have dirt left in them. They kind of sit in your visual on the railing as you look up. The door is closed. You don't see any lights coming in from either the top 2 windows or the bottom 2 windows.
Does it look like anybody lives here?
From the outside, not really. No.
This is a nice house.
Yeah, it's the best. Are there first floor windows?
Yeah.
Can I go look in one?
Sure. You walk up. You kind of have to brush the dirt and dust from just the normal street traffic off of the glass, and you peer in. It's different than you remember. A lot smaller. But inside, you can see furniture arranged in different settings. A very nice, cushioned, comfortable looking chair that sits next to a dead hearth. You remember your father would sit in at times. Just behind that, a large wooden table that you remember eating. A few family meals, kind of just set. But it looks like the rug had been changed. Whenever you were smaller, there wasn't a rug underneath the dining room table, but it looks like there was placed one there now. You see setting up what looks like stairs that lead upstairs. You see this nice, looks like a dresser and a bookshelf. A few empty pots and what looks like the remnants of books that you know that your parents would read at times in front of the fireplace. There is a room that leads past your vision, just kind of darkened. You remember that being the kitchen. But other than that,
Does it look dusty inside?
it seems untouched, for sure. One thing you do notice is hanging above the fireplace. Is something that you remember looking at all the time and thinking about all the time when you were a kid. A large round shield that is kind of coated in this brownish leather with a round metal ball kind of set in the center of it, and some rivets that kind of go around the leather, and a large broadsword that sits at an angle. You remember your dad telling him that those were the weapons that he used when he was on his adventures. So you always kind of dreamed of doing that yourself. One day, you always look up at that sword and just realize, so that it's still there. You can see some knickknacks and things that you don't remember, but sitting on the mantelpiece. But from outside, it's too hard to see if it's dusty inside or not.
Castus, are you with me by the window?
Yes.
I kind of point through where I wiped to the table. Mom probably Couldn't wait to put that fucking rug in after my messy ass left.
Have a messy kid, were
Spilling
we?
Shit. Yeah, well. Things haven't
Uh,
changed too
I will
much.
walk
I'm
over
gonna
to the door and give it a jiggle.
It's locked.
A lock.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I look at Calder's like, go inside.
Please.
I take
Go ahead
my
and roll.
thieves' tools and try to get the lock. All right. Adding, what do I add? Proficiency to it?
Yeah.
That would be a 14.
14. It is a rather simple lock, and it doesn't take much to get the single latch to single tumbler to. The door kind of opens with a creak.
Kind of just a
Push it
hand
on
on his
open.
shoulder as I walk by into the door. Thank you.
The rug kind of catches
I'll-
as you're opening the door, Calder, and it like stops you for a moment, and so you have to kick it out of the way.
Door still sticks.
Mhm.
I step in behind him and I close the door after us, and then I'll. We both have dark vision, so we don't have to worry about light.
Looking around, it does seem relatively well taken care of. You don't see a large layer of dust on any of the surfaces. As you kind of put your hand on the railing, even kind of pull it away, it's clean.
The gentleman back at the inn said they left that place to him. Maybe he's been taking care of this for him too.
It must have been keeping keeping it well cleaned. I mean, this is cleaner than when I was living at where I was actually living.
I'm gonna look through the. You said there were books.
There are books.
Is there anything in particular there that strikes a chord?
That you remember? Is that what you're asking? Just some small adventure books that your dad had read to you when you were younger to get your excitement. But your mother used to just like her small herbalism. She used to like planting things. So she always kind of had a green thumb that she always was looking at different types of books that kind of give her tips and tricks. But nothing in particular.
Can
hard to
I
remember.
take a look around, see if there's maybe like some paperwork, anything that maybe they left for Calder that
Sure.
be waiting. Okay.
Investigation check.
I'll try this doc. My investigation's such crap. Come on.
As he's doing
That's
that, I kind of
terrible.
just like trace my fingers over the titles of a couple of these books, like along the spines.
Mm-hmm.
An 11.
I'm gonna take one that was a favorite of mine and just kind of stick that in my pack. And I'm gonna on this floor, is it just like this area in the kitchen?
There's one other room, the kitchen.
Okay.
You can see there's a door that's up against the stairway as it leads up. There's a door right on side that's closed. You remember that being like a small storage closet that your mother would use for like cleaning supplies, but almost like a little Harry Potter closet. The best description I can give you.
I'll just pop that open and look inside, see if that's pretty much what I remember it being.
Yeah, but it is
briefly.
empty. There's no cleaning supplies inside anymore. It's just empty.
Okay, I'll shut that and I'm gonna go upstairs.
I rolled an 11 on my investigation.
You do not see any paperwork or any letters or sealed anything.
I will follow him upstairs.
Okay.
As you see me walking up the stairs, you see me like carefully choosing which spots I step. And then as you follow behind me, you don't know. So you hear the creaking that you didn't hear when I was going up.
You get up to the top of the stairs. There is a small landing, and there are two rooms. One that kind of at the top of the stairs, it hooks left, and then it would be on your right, and there was one on your immediate right. Your parents' room was on your immediate right, and your little bedroom was the one that hooked left, and kind of in the back corner. Both doors closed. Dark up here.
Doing okay?
Hmm. About as well as I can. No.
Take your time. I mean,
No. I'm gonna walk over into my room first.
Your room. You open it. Inside, you see a very familiar scene, but it looks very tidy at this point. Never how you left it. A small bed with 4 brown wooden stained posts. Small bed, probably for a child's size. Made, the blankets and pillow kind of freshly laid over the bed, not really touched. Alongside, you see some knickknacks and things that instantly kind of bring back memories. Some small toys and things that you used to play with whenever you were a child. But leaning up against the side of the bed was a smaller, but very proud at your moment, was a wooden sword and a shield that kind of lean up against the side of the bed next to each other. But it seems like the room was untouched since you had left. Tidied, but all your things kind of remain.
I see as a kid, he kind of kneels down next to the shield. You're smart enough to use a shield.
Yeah. Yeah. The way my dad said it, if you couldn't keep yourself alive, you couldn't keep anyone else alive either. Guess I forgot that along the way.
Well, that's what we're here for, to help remind you from that.
I'm gonna kind of step backwards out of the room and just pull the door closed behind me. Just rest my hand on it for a second, and then go over to my parents' room.
You open it. It is a larger bed. Made. Room's tidy. A large throw rug sits at the bottom. Kind of this beautiful gold and dark black pattern that sits underneath it. A large dresser sits at the end with a large mirror that kind of sits up. The mirror seems a little bit dusty. So whoever's doing the cleaning probably hasn't been here within a week. You see a large trunk sitting to the side. Some oil lanterns in the corners that they would light before they went to bed.
Is the trunk the only like storage space?
No,
in the room?
there's a dresser at the opposite end of the bed that sits up against the wall. That's kind of like an armoire with the mirror that's attached to it that sits there as well. So
Okay. I will look in the armoire first. Just kind of peek in the drawers, see what's in there.
you open. There's commoner's clothes. Kind of, do you remember your mom and dad wearing? Folded nicely and neat. Just in the drawers.
Is anything underneath?
You can search around if you want.
Yeah, I don't want to. I mean, I'm not like looting.
Sure.
But just kind of.
Give me an investigation check.
I see if there are any like etchings or pictures, whatever, of like maybe young Calder. See what he looked like as a kid.
Yeah, go ahead and give
17.
me same thing, investigation. You're searching around, you pull out a few drawers, and you begin to reach. Your hand hits something. It's the hilt of this dagger. You pull it out, and it's just a crude, normal-looking dagger, except the blade kind of goes up at the tip at a small curve. It is very bright and shiny. It looks like it's very polished. Do you remember when you were little searching through your mom's drawer and finding this thing, and she would always yell at you? Probably her backup weapon just in case Dad got in trouble. You don't see any pictures. Drawn, etched, any of the family members.
Done a little more than cut myself these days. I'll stick the dagger in my belt.
It's so the handle itself has this small little golden ring. It kind of goes around the bottom of the blade. It has a white handle, white polished handle, where the bolts are screwed in to keep the handle together. Small little gold inlets. So the metal's silver, but the decoration is white and gold essentially on it. So
Is that your mom? Is that your mother's?
Yeah. Wasn't overly fond of me messing with it.
I can imagine.
Yeah. You're gonna trip and jab your eye out. Yeah, well.
Well, at least you didn't have bottles whipped at your head, so I would think I would take that instead.
Yeah. Sorry about that, buddy. I pat him on the shoulder as
Don't
I
worry.
walk by, and I'm gonna open up the trunk.
inside, you see some of your dad's old adventuring gear, some very battle torn leather armor, a helm that kind of would fall over his nose. Leather helmet is kind of inlaid with, silver. Looks weather used. You can see at the top the helmet sits folded alongside. As you see on the side of the one side is a pair of large boots that he would probably tie up to his knees. The other, you see a pair of gauntlets. His leather armor.
You said it all looks very weathered.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't touched it in years.
Yeah.
The trunk used to sit under the bed, but it is now probably been gone through, and anything else is probably removed of value. But
Yeah. I will close that, and just lift the blankets draping over the bed and just peek under, make sure there's nothing else underneath that.
okay, you look empty. Seems rather clean.
Okay.
You can stay as long as you like. No rush.
Should have been here a long time ago, guesses.
Hey, I know we've been prying a lot, and I know you've had a lot to process, but ask. You can ask me the same question. Why'd you leave?
Because I'm a damn fool. I was young and weird and stupid, and I didn't know why any of it was. I don't know why I was the way I am. And neither did anybody else, my parents included.
Looking for
I came
answers?
through. Sorry.
Looking for answers?
Yeah, I thought I was going to get him. Guy came through town. Said he knew what I was. Said he could explain the clusterfuck of images and sounds and feelings that were my dreams, and that he could help me work out my destiny. And I was stupid enough to believe him.
It's not being stupid. It's hope, trying to figure out where you come from, why things happen, what they are. Someone offered you hope. Turns out it sounds like they lied, but you didn't know that. You took a leap of faith. I'm sure your parents understood that you had to do what you had to do.
I'm not a victim, Castus. This, and I pull out my greatsword and just jam it into the floor, has killed countless people. I'm not a victim, Castus. I'm a weapon. I have hurt and manipulated. I have tortured. I have murdered. I killed a mother in front of her children for doing no more than disobeying the man who took me from here. Do not pity me. I don't deserve that.
Cassis will walk up, grab the sword, try to wriggle it out of the wood. I'm sure it's heavy because he's not strong. It's like
jammed in there.
Okay, he kind of just wiggles it and looks at him like, what is the sword? What is it? Literally, what is the sword?
The tool of a monster.
It's a weapon. It's a tool.
I'm gonna take it from you.
A tool is only something that's used by somebody. Good or bad. Is
The sword's not the bad thing, Castus. I am.
Why is that? Because somebody made you a tool. Pointed you and said, go that way. And they had earned your trust. Sounds like lied, manipulated, did exactly what you say you did. All because they wanted to use you. So, yes, okay. You may have done some bad things. We've all done bad things. But it doesn't define you. You can't blame the sword. You can't blame the weapon for what's happening when whoever's wielding it, essentially that person is wielding you. That's all. All these bad things you're holding on to.
Pointed in a direction not Castus, I made my choices. I did vile things.
What happens if you didn't? What happens if you didn't do those things? What happened to you?
They didn't happen to me, Castus.
No, I'm not asking what would have happened to you if you didn't do it.
It's not about what would have happened to me if I didn't. It's about what wouldn't have happened to others. I know you're trying to make me feel better, right? Trying to help me move on or forgive myself or, I don't know, be okay with it. That's not gonna happen, Castus. I can't. There's not enough time in the world to break down the suffering that I have caused. There is no forgiveness. There is no redemption. There is no washing the blood from my hands. And there is no making peace with it. It is what it is. I shouldn't be here. I don't deserve to be here. I can't have this conversation. I'm gonna turn around and walk downstairs.
Before he gets you get past me, I'm just gonna wrap my arms around you and just give you a hug, whether you want it or not.
You're like hugging me from behind,
I am actively hugging you.
just like
I am dead weight at this point, just holding you, so that
Calder's
just try to stop you.
standing like stock still, arms at his sides. Let go, Castus.
Oh, you need this. I'm giving this to you. Just hugging. He's just hugging him hard, not letting go.
Castus, let go,
You hug.
or I'll break your
Nope.
fucking arm.
Oh, hugging you. I'm hugging you. You can't get me off.
I'm
You're
gonna
caked
elbow
now,
him
see?
in the side.
Roll an attack.
Is this unarmed? I
Mhm.
assume.
We can make it an opposing grapple check if you want to make it that way too. So if you want to roll me
Oh,
athletics or athletics for you, Cassis. Acrobatics or athletics for you.
To see if he can
Calder.
grapple me.
No, yeah, to see if you can break the grapple.
Oh, I mean, I'm
Am
just
I
hitting him.
Okay, or you can set him. Well, we can make it a contested grapple check to see if you would be able to break it.
Okay, so am I rolling acrobatics or athletics?
Athletics for you.
Ugh, gross. Okay.
Natural 20
Oof.
for a 26.
Oh, that would be a 3 on my part.
So
That
you
kidney
feel,
shot.
yeah, you feel this elbow just ram right into your sternum, kind of putting
This
you
is gonna be piss and blood.
to a knee for a moment. All the air kind of out of your chest.
Yeah.
Oh, totally
Knowing
worth it.
what I have done, like without bothering to turn around and look or check or anything, just being aware that I have done what I set out to do, I'm gonna just walk.
Okay.
I go downstairs.
You take 3 points of bludgeoning damage, Calder. Or I mean, Cassis.
Fair enough.
I go downstairs and I go to the mantle
Mhm.
where my father's sword and shield are hanging and just stare.
I clumsily come down the stairs.
Cassis, before you do, as you're getting up from being kind of knocked down from the blow, kind of probably shouldn't have done that. You're kind of rolling around on the ground until your vision it blurs for a moment, and as it's coming back, you see the feet of two plated boots kind of sitting at the edge of the bed, as if someone was sitting on the edge. Your head turns, and you see a familiar armored figure in beautiful, bright silver plate mail. The helm kind of overclosed, just given this black slit. You never see the eyes of this individual. The armor he adores, just beautifully carved and crafted. He sits there, and in front of him, he twirls a sword on the ground. He's kind of looking down.
Hey, buddy. How's Adlith?
This isn't the same individual that you remember. This is the one that you saw in your visions of your father.
All right.
You say that, and he no response.
Oh.
All he says to you is, "What does it mean to be a father?"
Each protect.
Courage. Any fool can have a child. That does not make you a father. It's courage. It's the courage to raise a child that makes you a father. It's the courage to stand by him when they need you the most. To inspire him. Protect him. But in reality, just be with him when he needs you the most. He kind of extends his hand to you.
Take it.
You stand, and he just still kind of staring at the ground. Those without a father are torn. A piece of them removed. I watch over those. Those that are missing this piece. Kind of looks up to you. I know you are not a father, but I believe you have the same qualities of one. A friend of mine taught you well. Be with your friend.
Are you?
Just no reaction to that question. Be with your friend, but give him space.
Well, and I'll just turn and kind of walk out the door. But basically, with every other step, I kind of just peer back and kind of just look at the knight person.
He sits there, looking at the floor, kind of just twirling the sword in the ground.
All right. I'll head on downstairs.
You'll see me looking at the sword and shield above the mantle.
At your dad's?
No response.
I'll walk down the steps and kind of walk next to him and stand there. No. Dad? Seems like a smart person. Can't protect yourself, can't protect others.
I
And
just kind of turn and look at you.
And Cassius actually reaches up, grabs the shield, and booped off the wall. And just holds it out the calder. Like, you have a dagger from your mom, a shield from your dad. Seems kind of fitting, I think.
Yeah. My dad told me that before he knew what kind of man I'd be. I ignore him holding the shield and I reach up and grab the sword. Sorry it took me so long, old man. This thing's got a few more battles left in it. And I'll slide it in next to, just kind of between the straps next to the greatsword across my back. I'll look at Castus for a minute in the shield. Shut up. And I'll take it from him and I walk out.
Castus just smiles, kind of just looks up the stairs to see if maybe that figure has appeared or not. And even if whether it does or not, he just kind of just looks up and then follows out without a word.
Where are you heading now?
I want to go to the gravesite. He said he was buried behind the Church of Maliki.
Yeah, Mike. I believe I'm pronouncing that correct. Maliki? Yeah, Maliki. That's how you pronounce it. Yep. Okay. It is not too far. You remember seeing this church when you were younger, being this oddly, like this odd staple in this city that kind of stood out among the rest. But it is just this wooded if you would just imagine a church that was built in the Old West, this old wooden building that has a long, but it's rectangular with slanted roof and has just a single steeple that comes up into a point. The door itself has a beautifully wooden carved unicorn on the front of it. It's kind of rough and crude now. You see the building is now covered with vines and is weather torn. It doesn't seem like it's been taken care of in a very, very long time. It sits away from the rest of the buildings a little bit in a small little courtyard at the very top of this hill that you follow, just above where your home sits.
Okay. So I'm gonna walk in and see if I can find where they're buried. Are they marked graves?
They some are and some aren't. It does take you a little bit, but you do find 2 small gravestones. They don't actually sit at the top, or they don't, they're not round or anything like that, but they're just sort of plates set next to each other, in the ground, next to one another. A little bit of flowers, some fresher than others. Seems like the graves have been relatively well taken care of, but you do see next to each other Gorstag, Silana. Next to them, you see one that says Calder.
Oof. Fuck me.
Calder Vidar, Gorstag Vidar, and Silana Vidar.
Essus is saying nothing. He's actually keeping about several feet behind him. And he's actually going to try using his what the frick is it again? Healing hands to see if we can heal those points I just lost.
You close your eyes and you feel a warmth, almost like a warm hug, as you press your hands against your broken ribs. You're healed.
Are there gravestones close enough that if I was like kneeling between them, I could have a hand on each?
Yeah, I mean they're probably only like a few inches in between each one.
Okay.
It's like a single. Imagine a single plot, but 3 individual gravestones.
Okay. Yeah, Calder will walk forward and just kind of get down on his knees in front of them, hand on each headstone. Oh, fuck. Sorry. Sorry I took so long. I'm sorry. Trying to do better. He reaches into his coin pouch and puts like 5 gold on top of his on top of Gorstag's headstone. For the drinks we should have had. And we'll just lean forward and to the side and kiss Solana's headstone. For the love you deserved. And I'll stand up and draw my greatsword and walk over to the stone with my name and smash the hell out of it.
Okay. Calder cast this as you see Calder about to. You see him stop, and all of a sudden, above you, you see multiple shooting stars. 4, 5, 6. While you're distracted by this Calder, you feel a hand as you're about to swing down. Grasp your wrists. Force. Justice and good, above all.
Do I see anybody attached to that?
You see a female-like hand on your wrists. And you look over. It's the same individual that you saw on the beach after you drank the water. Her beautiful hair kind of streaming out of a cloaked hood. You can see nothing but the female features of her chin peeking underneath.
This is not justice.
You know, your father was a good man. He was about preserving life and happiness in his time. He believed in mercy, both in life and death. And such, in his older age, he not only healed the sick, tended the injured, he also delivered a merciful end to many. He was the reason he took the oath when he did. She kind of like looks down at your grave. Justice and good above all. Honor and fealty to the king. Honor and respect to righteous innocence. Honor and duty to the balancer, to her mercy, and to the justice maker. Honor and protection to those that are lesser. Honor and correction. She stops for a moment. To the enemies of justice and good. And then she turns to you, and almost as she stares deep within inside you, she says, honor and forbearance for oneself. Calder dies there, but a new one is reborn. Take the oath.
The oath to what? To who?
The preservation of life and happiness. You see a small smile underneath the hooded face. Take the oath.
Do I see this at all?
You do not. You see him kind of just standing there. The sword kind of dropped to his side. You hear him mumble these things. The oath to mercy. In both life and death. Justice and good above all else. You are more than what you think you are.
I don't think mercy applies to me.
Mercy applies to all who come within my dogma. Honor and correction to the enemies of justice and good.
You don't think that's me? After all I've done? And who are you? What is your dogma? You're so damn vague.
You
Been
may
trying
have
to figure
fallen
you out for
far.
months.
I will tell you this. Something had taken you far from the path. But now I am here to put you back on it. Your father trusted us. Now I'm asking you for the same trust. Forgiveness, Calder, is what I bring you here tonight. Do you accept it?
You might forgive me. Can't forgive myself.
Then it is a beginning, not an end, for Calder. She releases her hand off of yours. She's been holding it this entire time, and she turns to you, or she turns away from you. And over her shoulder, she says, "Honor and forbearance for oneself." And you see her just walk off out of the graveyard. Your vision kind of passing Castus, who just keeps. You see him turn towards you, Castus, and kind of look beyond you.
It's both. A beginning and an end. And I just jam the greatsword down into where my grave would be. I leave the headstone intact, but I jam it as deep down as I can get it. And just give one twist to the blade. Stand up straight.
I will approach, kind of step up to him. Good?
Put one hand on his shoulder. Just give him a little tap. No. And turn around, and I'm going to start walking back to the Great Keep Inn.
I am going to linger, just wait till he's out of earshot. And as he keeps going, I'll follow shortly, but I kind of look down at the headstones. I'll look at him, it's like, so, nice to meet you. Son has some rough patches ahead of him, but we'll be there to make sure he's okay. That's our job. That's whether he likes it or not. I think we are his weird little makeshift family, and I think he would have liked us. But we'll keep an eye on him, because I think he needs that right now. But be okay. We'll keep okay. Just kind of kneel down. Just kind of put my hand on the his father's headstone, and my hand on his mother's. And again, kind of just pat and say, "We'll take care of him. Promise." Stan, kind of a.
You hear
Just my
Draco
coat.
kind of meow. He begins to purr next to you.
Buddy. Come on, let's go get some more milk. Turn and follow after.
Okay. So Velkin, you just said you were going off by yourself a while ago.
Yeah.
What exactly were you going to do?
Vulcan's just gonna linger around for like 45 minutes to an hour, and then she's gonna duck into some sort of like alleyway and use disguise self. She's going to make herself look like a pretty young half-elven woman with blonde hair, really innocent blue eyes. And she's going to dig into her bag, and she's going to pull out her engagement ring and put it on. And then she's going to walk back towards the Copperbeard Inn and like enter kind of like nervously kind of thing. Very unlike Velkin. Look around.
Oh, hello. Can I help you?
Hi. Yes. And she kind of shuffles towards the bar, and she holds out a hand and says, I'm Emily. It's nice to meet you.
This is Emily. It's very nice to meet you as well. Can I get you something?
Um, Actually, I'm here because, well, my fiance parents own this place, and I heard news that they had passed. Um, he's out on the road, busy doing his own thing. But I thought I would stop by, see the place, see if anything was left for him.
He just looks shocked at this moment. So he's alive? Sorry.
Yes, but busy.
Make me a deception check with advantage.
Okay. 18.
I'm so sorry. Can you give him my condolences? Sorry, this has just been a weird night. You're the second person that had mentioned it.
Oh, did someone that know him stop by?
An odd party not too long ago. One of them was asking about the former owners.
Oh, can you tell me what they look like? If I see them, I'd love to say hi.
He gives you the description of everybody.
Thank you. Did they give the place to you?
Family friends of the Hardcastles. I was working underneath Lord Hardcastle for some time, and he's a good friend of his father's, and got me in his service after his son left.
Oh, well, I'm glad to know it's taken care of.
I don't think anything was left specifically for him. But one moment. And you see him go into the back, opens the door, and closes it. It's about
She
a
just
minute or
waits.
two until he comes back. Well, before I give you this, can I ask you one thing?
Of course.
Just a promise.
Mhm.
If he ever does come back into town, you just have him stop? I'd like to show him around the place, maybe his old home.
I'll let him know.
They never stop thinking about him. I tend to the house. I've kept it clean since they passed.
That's sweet of you.
But I took everything of value and stashed it away, and anything that was told to be sold, I sold it, and I followed the instructions very specifically. But this was left, and he hands you this small little wooden box, this little silver latch that kind of latches. Just give it to him. It was his mother's.
I will. It's safe with me, I promise.
This has been an odd night. Kind of looks distant for a moment. Gulps back probably a little bit of tears, and
I'm sorry. But I'll make sure he gets this. And she, Vulcan takes the box and puts it like in her satchel and stuff like that. Well, sorry this was so short. It's rather late. I should get going, but I'll let him know.
Is he staying here in town?
No, he's out on the road right now.
Ah.
I'm sorry.
Make sure to tell him to come stop by. I would love to meet him.
I will. And she offers a handshake to him again,
He
and
gently takes your hand.
then ducks out and starts heading towards the keep. Detours around to somewhere darker, drops the disguise, and keeps going. She forgets her ring on, though.
Perfect. So the rest of you, was there anything specifically you all wanted to do while this all was going on?
Just to be clear,
Go for
in
it.
case it was misunderstood at all, the great sword is left there.
Oh, perfect.
I did not draw it from the
I
ground.
figured.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Oh, the really bad part is Isaiah and Eggval are probably at the market restocking up with things, just joking and laughing and having a good time.
Yeah.
No idea what's going on.
I was gonna say Eggville probably wanted to try to check out all the stalls just to see if there was anything worthwhile. Maybe he can get ahead of time before they actually opened, and then probably making a few remarks of, "Man, I hope." Oh, sorry. I hope they were. I hope Calder gets to have a good reunion with his parents, because I know it's been rough, and he's been feeling kind of weird about it.
Well, people change over time. You never know what you're gonna get. So, the only thing you can ever be sure of going back to a place is that things will be different. At least some small ways.
I'm trying to remember.
I will tell you, those that are searching for items to buy, the shops this late at night are closed. The streets here are very, very quiet. Even the market, it seems like the stalls have been set up for the next day. But right now, you walk back to the market, none of them are really open.
Calder. From when I had given you, inspiration before, the treat or the snack that you had used, or that you had described, you had said it was like a lemon cake.
Yeah, like a little, like a dense lemon cake with like a cream cheese icing.
And you said that most of the shops were closed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. That was all.
I guess we're still out and about, Red and I.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Just
still
looking for life.
trying to get something, so we're not
Yeah.
useless.
And I'll look for like thief
no.
markings and stuff like that, just to see if we can get like an
I was gonna
idea.
say, keep an eye out for anyone that's like peddling like either drugs or like other substances on the corners as it gets darker.
Yeah.
You know, like any hooded figures.
Give me an
Where are the
investigation
dealers?
check.
Yeah, any symbology of the people I work for.
Ugh.
Is investigation one of the things that gets helped by that mug?
Oh, no, let's check.
I think it's
think
like
so.
charisma.
Mine was
checks
11.
to-
Yeah,
Gotcha. Then it will be.
it's charisma checks
Right.
together, news, rumors, or gossip.
It's like
Gotcha.
after you decide to start talking to that individual,
Yeah.
that's when you would get the...
Oh, I rolled a nat 19. You
Nice.
said investigation is a 20. Total.
Okay, so what exactly are you looking for? Just a shady individual on the street, or...
I'm keeping an eye out for shady individuals on the street or
Okay.
symbology of the people I work for. If
Okay.
they might happen to have like, an outpost or something here. I don't know.
Perfect. There's no specific symbols of who you work for. Nor would you probably recognize. I mean,
Yeah,
you would
no.
recognize them, but they probably aren't just visible on the streets of Hardcastle. I would say there are people out. You could find a group of shady individuals if you would like to. Near the inn that you were staying at, there are a group of individuals that you could say were shady. I mean, they're hooded figures. You do not find the people that that split the other direction.
Thousands of people. I had a little hope.
It's hard to find them.
Yep.
Any hint or any like whispers of anything about about the people that we're following? Any whispers about Sloan or the red cloak guy?
Ooh, interesting. No. You don't. But what you do hear from this group of individuals, let me pull it up here. As you're walking by, you kind of just hear it, Redrick. The reason that you notice it, because the name was mentioned before. You hear the name Ebenford again. You hear an individual say, "Did you hear the Ebenford struck again? They destroyed another caravan. Bloody Lord Hardcastle has raised a bounty for their heads. Once again. I think we should try out for it. What do you say?" Huh. You'll never find him if you tried. That lord is as mysterious as the things are coming out of the Chonderwood nowadays. Well, we could just go to the warden and see what he knows. Let's say it. Could be a good way to get a bunch of cash. Ha! You're a fool. If you'd like to try, go ahead. Count me out. Two of them walk away. The other kind of just stands up against the wall.
I feel like I want to catch those two that are walking away, I think.
Okay.
And maybe
Those are the
just,
two that denied, going for it. But
Oh, okay, never mind. I had it reversed.
the individual that was asking about it is standing up against the inn.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of nod Ren in that direction and just like head over. Just like, so couldn't help but overhear that there was a lot of gold on the table here. How much we talking?
Who are you?
Just someone in search of some earnings, I'd say.
Well, check the bounty boards lately.
Just came into town out of Arabar. Looking for work here.
What kind of work do you do? Hello, pretty one.
Whatever work gets needed.
And kind of like makes a little bit of a face and then catches herself and hi. We do all sorts of work.
She with you?
Yeah, she's with me.
Stabby work.
Stabby work.
Yeah.
Well, since you're new here, I'm sure. I mean, you could check it out yourselves, but Warden Ravensguard put up a new bounty for a group that's been causing the Lord Hardcastle some trouble recently on the road, destroying caravans, disrupting trade. I'm not too sure why, but 20,000 gold on their head.
20,000. Wow.
I think I might take a crack at it myself. Don't you get any thoughts in yours?
Oh, wouldn't dream of it. Going up against you, I mean, it seems like you really know what you're doing.
I know.
Do you know if anybody else is on the trail? I kind of look at Redrick and I'm thinking about the people that we saw earlier. Do you know of any other bounty mercenaries or anything?
Just
Okay.
myself. If you're thinking about it, don't worry about it. The hair might get all tousled up.
Oh, thanks for the warning.
He spits on the ground.
Mm.
But yeah, just a group that's been causing trouble. If you could always try it.
Yeah, sounds like it might be right up our alley.
Thanks for the info.
Anything for it? Puts his
I'm
hand
just
up.
gonna like
Lovely
punch it.
evening.
I'm just gonna like punch him in the face and try to knock him out. As what he's asking for something for it, right? So yeah, exactly. No.
Roll attack.
Yeah, unarmed strike.
Yep. Nah, claw to the throat.
Yeah, could
Kills the
be.
guy on the street.
Exactly. That is a what? 20 to hit.
20 to hit.
Yeah,
That hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
It's 4
4
if it's an
damage.
unarmed strike.
Crack! You lay him out right into the ground. Oh, bloody hell! Oh, why'd you go and do that for? You just see his like face is just instantly bloody.
Hey, you
Blood
wanted
coming from his
payment.
nose.
Oh,
Oh.
sweetie, you got to be more careful. Your hair's all messed up.
He's just like crawling away from you on the ground at this point.
Oh.
It'll be all right.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for the info.
Hey. As we're walking, Ren's gonna be like, "So, you said you're from Erebar, right?
Yeah, originally.
Got any contacts there still?"
Too many. So yeah, I get word to them, ask about, but I don't think they'll know anything about what's going on here.
Oh, yeah, no. Just had some other. I'm missing some people from Erebar. I was just looking for connections. Do you know anything about a group, by the way, called the Eclipsing Moon by any chance? And I say that super quietly.
Does that ring a bell?
Roll a history check.
Alright. 19.
I've heard of them. You growing up on the streets, the way you have. Similar line of work. Old news.
Probably long before I ever got involved with that kind of stuff. I'd imagine. I don't know. Anyway.
Is it, are they like? Are they still around?
Oh, they old news. I don't know. I've worked with my people, and I don't really question it. Last I heard was years ago. Similar line of work, though.
Make any sense? Years ago.
Yeah. Back when
What
I was-
year is it?
What year is it?
Oh boy, you
Oh
guys are killing
no.
me. 1492.
What?
Hold on,
Okay.
I can look for you.
We gotta know.
What year is it?
Season, day, month,
Jumanji quote of the day.
lunar calendar. My horoscope.
It is 1499.
What's my rising sign? No. Okay.
It's kind of like 1499. Is
And that sounds.
DR. You guys won't know what that means. We can get it later.
But that's what I'm expecting to hear. 14.99.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice try, Sarah.
why?
I'm not giving you the TARDIS yet. TARDIS ain't coming out yet. All right.
No, I'm just
Picking
I'm
on
just trying to make sense of some things. I don't know. I think that's who my dad worked for, and I just keep hearing that like they've been gone for ages and ages, but like he worked for them like 2 months ago, and it was kind of a big deal. So
Oh, okay. Is that where you learned to read all the fancy jargon and talk about rivers?
yeah, oh yeah, the fancy talk.
Yeah, never quite picked up on it myself. I mean, they know me. It's kind of hard to think I'm anyone else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't really. You're pretty straightforward too, so I don't
Yep.
really think it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, if we ever go back towards Erebar, I'm looking for some folks. If you could
I'll
give me a
ask
hand.
around. I don't know. They don't tell me much. Just a name, a location, and what to do with them when I get there. Usually.
All right.
All right.
So, ebbing forward, huh?
Yeah. How about that? Got some banditry going on. Seems
Sounds like a good place to start. Maybe.
Related? I mean,
Maybe?
I don't
Well,
know. Yeah.
I guess maybe not.
I don't know why they'd be getting all up in that instead of just heading right to the Black Star Gate or the Rift or whatever the fuck that place is called.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's getting late.
Yeah,
At least
I don't
we
think we're
found
going to win much
something.
more.
I was for a second there. I thought we were coming back empty-handed. Can't have
Yeah.
that.
We're pretty close to the end. Might as well just head in.
Yeah.
The rest of you, do you eventually reconvene at the Great Keep Inn then?
Yeah. On the way back, I'm gonna dump my entire water skin on myself and just like wipe away the shit off my face.
Perfect.
Probably I'm gonna have like weird smudges and shit like around my ears
You look
and on
like
my neck
smudgy.
and stuff.
You're
But
smudgy for sure.
yeah.
Looks like the Joker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, going
Right.
home
Like
at like 4 a.m. from
some of the
party.
red hair sticking out, but the black's still in there. It's a
Yeah.
sight.
I look like a
You've
mess.
like jumped into a tar pit. But eventually, one by one, two by two, you all return to the Great Keep Inn, where you do find. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Was there with my father's sword? Did it have a sheath with it, or is it just a sword?
It was
hanging
sheath.
there?
No, it was
Okay.
sheath.
Sorry.
To the Great Keep Inn. It's not as busy as it was whenever you guys arrived there, and like during the evening hours. Now it has become the late night crowd. The evening crowd is now filtered out. There are still people enjoying drink and having conversation. It's easier to find a table, but you see the same bartender, the large hawk, in the corner, serving. Oh, you're back. Take a seat. Rooms are all ready for you whenever you need them.
Are we all back currently?
Yeah, eventually you all make your way back.
Okay.
We have like the hardest thing you got.
Yeah, absolutely. Hardest thing I got. One moment.
Oh,
Is
She
that
gives
a
you-
celebration or
She gives you all tankards of stout. 8 copper pieces each.
I'll put down. I'll grab just 5 gold and just put it all down.
That's it. Okay. So
Oh,
you said the
nice.
5 gold, and she just sees it, and she turns around and walks away. Leaves it at the end of the table. You hear her give a sharp whistle, and a snap, and the hawk lands at the edge of your table, flaps its wings a couple times, and whoosh, flies back off, lands back on its perch, drops the 5 gold into a bucket. So you can see towards the end of the night, it began to fill up higher and higher. Says your gold, ting, ting. Mixing with a bunch of silver and copper, kind of stands out at the top. But
Sure. Yeah, stumbling kind of over to the table like a little lazily, I'll just kind of like kick out the chair and plop down, and I'm gonna start unstrapping the greatsword sheath and just set it on the table and start like setting up the. It's a longsword, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll start like attaching that to the strapping and everything that I have already, my like harness, so that'll be across my back.
perfect.
so we stopped by like the market to see if anyone was open, but it was kind of too late. Everything was closed. But did you get a new sword, Calder? Where'd you get that from? Or did you stop by somewhere before it closed?
Egg here. Take this drink, and he holds out the drink with the egg. He kind of waves over Isaiah and Redrick and Belkin, Ren, all kind of to the table, handing them drinks as they come nearby.
Oh, we're
As Calder
Calder.
sheathes the sword, all of you recognize something that, without you really taking the time to look at it, Calder, at the end of the sword, there's this black orb, right, about the size, about this big. It sits
Like
at
on the pommel?
Yes.
Okay.
But inside of it, as it turns and the light hits it, you can see what looks like a very bright, shining 7-point star. It's kind of inlaid within the black. Maybe like silver or some sort of like really whitish, shiny material inside this black orb. As if you would see a shooting star in the night.
Cass is handing out the drinks. I'm going to take mine and just down the whole thing. It's like an awkwardly long silence as I'm just like chugging the entire thing.
Oh,
Set it on the table.
So
we're
I
Go
dropping
back to adjusting the
disguises?
straps.
I guess during the chugging, I'm just gonna whisper to Isaiah, assuming I'm sitting next to him. I have a feeling something happened, and
What did you say, Vulcan?
Oh, we're dropping disguises?
Yeah, just that everyone just kind of just gather around. Just want to say, and I kind of hold up his drink. Thank you for being here. Not everyone wanted to be here. Everyone, we all kind of were brought together by weird circumstance. And honestly, all the craziness we've been involved with, and all the craziness that you people are, could not be any happier.
In the middle of your speech, just
Happy with
jam the dagger into the table.
That be here with you and go on this crazy adventure with. So, the Forgotten Few, Chaim. He drinks.
Vulcan's already been drinking hers. The speech was too long for her.
Cheers.
Isaiah,
She.
There's
can you make a sheath for this dagger?
of course.
Appreciate it.
Do you want me to take a look at anything? Is it? I mean, new stuff might be interesting, or is it just? It looks pretty well made to me. So
Sure, why not? I'll pull out the sword and set it next to the dagger that's jammed in the tabletop. Take the shield off my back, set that down too. Have a look.
What's that symbol on the pommel?
As she points it out, I'll look at it. Do I recognize that?
History
I mean,
check.
other than like having probably seen it as a kid, I would imagine. But
Anybody that's proficient in history can roll as well.
okay.
10.
No.
no, but I guess after that, I did have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I got is 17. 10 plus 7.
Nice. I beat the wizard. 21.
Isaiah.
Yeah.
You've seen this symbol once before. In a courtyard, one of the more prominent districts in Erebar. On a large statue that had been desecrated, kind of vandalized. When you stopped and looked at it, you knew that probably at one time it was a beautiful piece of craftsmanship. But the only thing that remained were the remnants of a dragon that was built in stone. The only thing that remained, the head was missing. One half was missing. The only thing that kind of remained was one half of the wing and like the two legs. You could see the beginnings of a neck. When I say the statue was large, it was very, very large. Eventually, it was removed. This was probably whenever you were just getting finished with your adventuring days. And it was removed. But inlaid in the center of the chest is the same 7-pointed star that is in the pommel of Calder's sword.
Would I have a name to go with it, or just the statue?
It just reminded you of the symbology.
Ah.
I'm not exactly sure where it comes from, but I have seen it before. In our bar there was a really old statue of a dragon with this symbol. It was taken down. So whatever it might have been was no longer important, I guess, to the people of the area, or no longer appreciated. Um, but at some point, it was worth a massive statue. So it is something big. Probably we could find out more.
Well, it's a start.
From having to look at the shield and or I guess the new shield and the new sword that Calder put out on the table. Just from looking it over, does it look used? Does it look beaten up? Does it look like it's been in some
It's not
fights?
beaten up, but the leather and the non-metallic parts of the shield and the sword seem to have some wear to it. It's definitely been used. It's not brand new out of a shop or anything like that.
I'm just gonna, I guess, toward the end of the speech, and then while they're kind of having that conversation, I'll be looking toward the sword and the shield, and then look toward Calder, and back to the shield, and back up, and just kind of starting to recognize some of the signs and the emotion. And I'll stand up and I'll put my mug down next to him and just tap his shoulder or pat his shoulder. And though in a language that you can't understand, in Giant, I'll say I'm sorry for your loss. And what is it? And I'm gonna head upstairs to one of the rooms.
As you have your hand on my shoulder when you say, well, no, I don't understand it, so never mind.
Yeah.
What Isaiah said got me thinking now. So I will, just as I'm sitting there, kind of like leaning back in my chair, looking at these things on the table in front of me, my eyes will flash briefly, and I'm going to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. And as you do, that's where we're going to end tonight.
Ah,
Yeah.
Cliffhanger.
is it magic? Who knows?
The world may never know.
Oh.
Tune in next week to find out.
Oh boy.
Oh fuck!
All right.
Good
Well,
lord.
thanks for tuning
This
in.
was a
everyone.
rip-roaring happy.
Yeah, this was a bit of a
Oof.
downer of an episode.
Sorry, my parents died.
Yeah, come on, Calder. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We do this every Wednesday night at 8:30. Our other stream is on Saturdays. I know some of you guys seem like you want to be active in the chat, and we can't really reply to you. I see Krogar has been in here the past 2 streams, and
Krogar!
and if you want to stop by on nights off on Saturdays at 8:30, we'd love to hang out with you. The podcast, we're catching up. This episode will probably be way down the line because we have the past like 14 to get through, but eventually you can check it out.
It'll be a couple weeks. We'll get caught up. Not eventually.
Eventually, yeah. We're
Not
doing
too
2
far
weeks
behind,
until we
yeah.
catch up.
Yeah, so however long
Perfect.
we've been streaming, have it, and then we'll be caught up. If anyone else has any announcements, you can go ahead and shout them out now, but that's all I got. So
My
Just,
announcement is Calder is sad.
Calder's sad boy.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Well, just remember, be kind, be happy, and make sure to love each other. So, adios. Have a good night.
Good night.
Guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.